Okay, I'm doing a backup just in case, so we don't have to do it again to ensure that. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, all right, good. Okay, so I have a series of questions for you. It's very simple. We start
Yep.
right from the beginning. So, yeah, maybe tell us a little bit more about what was your childhood like growing up? Like, do you grew up with entrepreneurial parents, or you, a lot of people think that, people who succeed in real estate, they must be like have very talented. The person must be very talented, or maybe very smart academically, or maybe come from rich family or have good connections. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you had all these when you were growing up?
I wait, let me rename myself as well. Wait, okay. Well, I'd love to have if I have got parents who are entrepreneurs and stuff, then it will really make my journey easier because at least I have a mentor to guide me. But unfortunately, my my dad is he's more like I think both my dad and mom, they are in the F&B trade lah, more like a hawker. So then eventually my dad uh uh got tired of F&B. He started doing satays and stalls, then eventually became a cab driver,
Mm.
taxi driver. Then my mom is also started off as a hawker. Then eventually, now she's still a hawker, but in fact, I was the one who influenced them, especially my mom. I said, why don't you get the store and then become a landlord and then start leasing out the stores. So you're still a hawker, but at the same time you're having passive income. So these
Mm.
days she just operate her stores uh, uh, as a landlord, and then she will have tenants running the stores for her, and then she's just like there looking after them. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So that's pretty much my childhood lah. So a very typical Chinese family in Singapore since the 80s. And yeah,
Yeah. So what was your life like? I mean, before you entered the real estate industry, like what were you doing? What were you exploring?
okay, since young, so I live in a Ang Mo Kio HDB three room flat, HDB 3 room flat. And then I always wanted to do something better because it's so small, I have to share the room with my grandmother and my younger brother,
Yeah.
who is 2 years old younger than me. So the the journey was there's this calling that I wanted my own room, I wanted my own space, and
Mm.
I know I had to do better than uh what my family is providing. So hence the since very young, I think even when I was in my secondary school, I already have my own kakis. In secondary schools, usually we hang out with friends that who want to play a lot. The certain hobbies that we have, like maybe soccer or maybe cycling club,
Right.
cycling around doing this and that. I since very young, I think at the age of 16, once I finished my O level, I had this group of kakis, and then I started to. I'm literally the brains of that team. Um, then eventually became the leader of the team, four of us, including myself.
Like bicycle gang.
The bicycle gang. No, we that time we will have like bicycle, and then we will go around having suppers at night, late nights. We don't want to go home. The teenage, the very young 16-year-old us. So I started asking them, why don't we do something that can value add to ourselves and also at the same time, provide a solution. So at the age of 16, I was the brain. So I started to give them ideas like why don't we start a tuition agency at the age of 16 with no experience, with no background. I told them, so first thing is we have a lot of we will need to find the tutors, we will need to find clients. Then
Right.
so how do we do that? I said we have bicycles, right? So why don't we print out those papers and then we start pasting all around those HDBs, so that they can tear off those days where you see all those pamphlets, they'll just stick on the HDB leaves, and then people will just tear off the numbers. There'll be like 10 or 20 numbers below, then they tear off, and then they'll call the mobile number. Those days was the Nokia handphone
Right.
and stuff. So I had to so I came out with all these draft and started to print. And then in the night, instead of cycling for supper, right, we will do something more beneficial. We will go and paste all this around all the HDB blocks. And then we
Okay.
started to see some results. Clients starts to call us, tutors
Yeah.
starts to call us. That is when we started to link them together. And for the first month, we were seeing good income.
Wow.
Meaning we were doing.
Like for 16-year-old, how much were you guys raking in?
I was at the age of 16 years old. I share the profit equally lah. So I would dare say among four of us is about 8,000 a month. So each of us gets about 2,000.
Well,
Just
not
for
bad.
not bad
Yeah.
for it's way above what my allowance was. And
Yes.
so the journey started off from there. And I realized that, hey, actually this is good income, because what we are doing is just matchmaking, a student with a parent. Then after that, of course, the following up. So I continue this even throughout so straight away from secondary school. I wanted to go JC then, but my English, I had a E8. I didn't even pass my English.
Right.
So I had to retake my English. So the only option I had was to go to the poly. So when I was in the poly, I was also in one of the not so good classes. But eventually my English, I passed it, and I got I think B4. I got a B4 eventually the subsequent year when I retake. But it
Right.
didn't. But I don't want to delay my journey in my education path. So I managed to get I was literally the so-called brightest student inside my class lah. Because
Right.
all these, most of them, they are like, their results are not so good. But for me, all my results were A's and B's. Only English pulled me down.
Right.
So the kind of feeling when they had, when they gave the form, right? It's like 16-year-old, you queue up in a hall and then to receive your results. So on one stack, it's all the JCs and polys, Then on the other, and then after that, there's just one small stack of ITEs. They passed
Right.
me ITE. I was like, oh my God. So I had to appeal to get, I don't want to go into ITE. So I went into poly through appeal lah.
Right.
Then, that was how I started my journey. Then even in poly time, I also managed to run this business. And I think that time I was receiving uh so half studying, half, and I was doing student mentoring also, student mentoring for my own class. And I had I think I was doing quite okay. Every month was getting me about 3,000. But of
Wow.
course, yeah, 3,000 every month. So I didn't need my parents' support also. But of course, my dad still give me pocket money lah. That one is extra income, the base income lah. So I get that. I get that every day. My dad will pass me, I think, $10 every day.
Okay.
$10 every day. And then yeah, with the three
It
thousand,
doesn't know you were making 3,000, is it?
they don't know. They don't know. And I don't
Okay.
think they'll believe, because it's like, hey, you are like, what are you doing? It's like every night you go cycling, and then with those days it's those very cheap bikes.
Yeah.
So cheap bicycles, and you don't even have those races and
Right.
stuff. So but they know that I'm always printing stuff, and I'm always, I buy my own printer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I started doing this business lah. So I
Right.
did it all the way until I finished my poly, and to be honest, I was quite comfortable, but I know I
Yes.
need to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my childhood. It's not. I would say it's to be honest, I think even in a HDB 3 rooms, it was comfortable. I don't need to worry about money and stuff. Then as I was
Yeah.
growing up, 16 years old, I managed to find my uh income stream
Mm.
by just strategizing and thinking. So I'm in what the Hawkins say, somebody who really thinks a lot and who really think out of the box to
Yes.
provide a solution. Yeah, and
Wow.
it's a and from there it's like, hey, actually, this targeted market is good, because especially the students, this education path is actually a good path to work
Right.
on.
So I'm just curious, what specific moment or event that led you to consider like real estate?
Okay, so as a tutor agent,
Mm.
The thoughts of being a real estate agent came to me, because if I'm going to brokerage, uh, matchmake, all these deals, might as well I
Yeah.
go for something that pays more with a bigger ticket. So all actually three trades came to me: the car trade, the insurance trade, and property trade. So I
Wow,
started.
you actually thought about this tree trade, like,
Correct, I did.
okay.
So when I look
Where
at
was
all.
this? Army, or was this like in the army, or was this
So even during poly time,
only
during my
time?
poly
Okay,
time, yeah.
okay. Wow,
So of course
okay.
I had but so after analyzing myself, that means thinking through, I look at all the pro and cons in each job. Car trade, they give you a very low basic. You do have a physical. Sorry, I should start with insurance first. So insurance pays very well also, but they do not have a physical product. They are selling paper. They are selling a policy. So that one itself, the salesmanship has to be even higher, and there's a certain challenge to it because you don't have a physical product. Then I went in, so I started thinking, oh, this level of difficulty quite high. So I went into the second one, which is the car trade. Car trade, started thinking about it. You have a physical product, you're paid a very uh minimum salary, then you're supposed to sell cars. And that one itself, the commission is also, honestly, to me, that was not attractive lah. When I compared to real estate, real estate is zero basic salary but full commission. So with
Mm,
full commission, and then the percentage is tagged to the property amount. And at a very
yeah.
young age, I don't know how much even it's HDB or even private, but I know one thing is based on percentage, right? Definitely is way beyond the car trade. So I went, and of course, during that time, I had among the four of us, one of them, their uncle, it's a real estate agent. And then he will always tell me next time he wants to be a real estate agent because his uncle drives a Mercedes. So
Okay.
that statement literally, I was very attracted, and I was very hooked on to that bait. So
Mm,
he effectively anchored me onto this trade, and uh I saw myself that I will be a real estate agent. And since actually at the age of 16, I already told myself, the teachers always ask, what do you want to become when you grow up? So for me, in my the form itself, right, I wrote businessman.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was
That's
that was
rare. And that's very
very,
rare.
very rare, because all my friends will be like joking, like that
Yeah,
time there was this, they started the super bus, the double decker with aircon and
yeah, yeah.
bus. So it was a super bus. So they were right, I want to be a super bus driver. But when it came to me, right, when I started to think deep, I realized that, hey, maybe I just want to be a businessman. And so when I came into a poly time, which I was older, I think was about 18, 19 years old, before I entered the NS, I really know I want to be a real estate agent. So that
Wow.
was, yeah. So I started reading a lot onto real estate, how to uh boring coding to libraries. To those days we don't have internet,
Yeah.
so I'll be looking into books. How do you sell? What salesmanship? And then telemarketing skills. Of course, more all during so when I was doing my this business itself, I also went into the I also started to go into different jobs,
Mm,
including banquets. Then this thing called the time
mm.
sharing, direct
Okay.
selling. So I did
Yeah.
all of this. So I was exposed a lot into making phone calls, serving, talking to customers. So all this eventually sets my base skills. How do I deal with objections? Because you, as a newbie, you have a lot of objections. People coming to you and say no, slam your calls, not talking to you. So I'll reflect every time when I face one negative, or let's say I meet 10 persons, right? And if I only get one or two results, I'll ask myself on the other eight, what did I do wrong? Not to get them, because to me, I think these customers, when they are there, I have this gift lah, which is the strength that I always believe that people are not here to waste your time. I always believe that people who are here, they wanted to buy something. And thing is, what did I not do correctly, or what did I not say correctly? What are the choices of words that I have not used to
Mm,
effectively link this buyer to eventually want to buy or get my services?
okay.
Even though that time was it was just the supporting figure, maybe like telemarketer, you got to get
Right, right.
appointment stuff. So all these are all measured. But once I understand the game, I so eventually I had my own framework lah. So once I identify the problem, I'll put a solution to it, and then I'll strategize and execute. So with this four framework, I managed to even at a very young age, I already know that I need to follow a certain framework to get things done easier. So it's more SOP,
Okay.
and I could see my results. Even I think when I was doing my holiday work, while I was doing my agency, I mean my tuition agency, I could see I was already a top performer within my organization. Any part-time job that I was doing, so they will have ranking and stuff. So I get a lot of speeds and I get a lot of all this, and it was very satisfying. The
Yes.
internal satisfaction
Yeah.
was there. So that
Wow.
was that was
Okay.
how the journey started. Then okay. Then if you're talking about real estate, so
Yes.
I believe a lot of things is, of course I was actively looking. Then, ironically, how I got into my current company, Huttons, was when I completed my, because I as a young kid, I do not have any adult friends who are in the real estate.
Mm.
So when I was doing my job, banquets and stuff, a telemarketer in a time sharing company,
And
which
still running your agency,
running
your
student, but it
agency.
was it was literally because the other three boys, they are not so active. So
Yes.
it's like those days is it's like, yeah, I there I also learned I need a team that it's driven, but
Mm.
of course at that point of time we were all like trying to explore different stuff, and we will always think that the pastel on the other side is greener. So
Yes.
whatever jobs that we were doing, we'll be thinking, so that one we eventually cut down, and then that one went into a standstill and eventually zero, because we were
Okay.
all busy. We were doing banquet, it was fast money, and then we were
Yeah.
doing time sharing, and eventually even in the day job, the telemarketer thing, it brings me to the next level, which is called a liner, whereby I start to meet people down for presentation. And that was when they started to show me scripts. I was exposed to scripts, I was exposed to procedures. How do you eventually talk? Then it was like, usually it's like a 50 pages thing that you have to go through with your clients, in a step-by-step
Wow.
procedure.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when I realized, hey, presentation can be done in a sequence way. And but of course, if you ask me, then I think I I it's very monotonous going through like SOP one by one with a customer.
Yeah.
So you take about 90 minutes, just to present one deck to the customer. Then I was like, I think I can do better. That was then. But,
Mm-mm.
but when that thing came, that was when I was walking on the street, and then I bumped into a insurance agent who were doing a roadshow.
Okay.
They just prospect me lah.
Yeah. Yes.
At that point of time, I told them, I said, hey, I don't have a lot of money, and I don't have money to even, I just told the insurance direct, I said, I don't have a lot of money to buy insurance from you. But,
Yes.
and to be honest, I also don't know how much insurance costs,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I just told that lady, I said, uh, I told her, I said, if you can find me a job that pays me $3,500 a month, I will buy insurance from you.
Okay.
I told her straight up, because at the point of time when even a telemarketer, all this is all part time
Yeah.
basis. So the money was hard, and I don't even get close to 3K
Yes.
when I was doing this. And then some more two jobs no. So by then I go back, it's too tired to even want to start to do the tuition agency. And this time is worse. I'm all alone. All my three
Yes.
customers are all busy doing their own, like me lah, but in different area.
Yes.
The bond starts to, we start to lose the bond, right? Because everyone is going to different schools, different poly, different JCs, different commitment.
Right.
Then, so that insurance lady introduced me to a manager in Huttons, and
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
and that's how I started my.
Instead of introducing you to insurance manager,
Yeah, because I told her, I said, give me a job that pays me 3,500 a month, then I'll be able to buy from you. So
yes.
true enough lah. I think once, so I joined Huttons, and in 6 months late, within I think less than 6 months, I bought my first policy from the lady, because
Wow. Okay. Was that, I mean, at 21, you took the leap of faith, right, into real estate. I mean,
yeah.
were there any initial fears and challenges, that you had when you first started? I mean, it's a different animal, right, from, but in terms of sales, kind of like the same, but is it real estate is a different animal from time sharing, selling hotels, packages, and
Yes.
so were there any initial fears or challenges, or or how did
Totally,
you overcome
totally.
them?
Just to give you a perspective,
Yeah.
when I joined the trade, when we had our first, when this manager, so Hutton's then was a very new setup. We were
Mm.
only they were only 3 months old when I joined Hutton's. But of course,
Oh,
the people who
okay.
set up this agency, they were
Yes.
very senior. They had decades of experience, but the
Yes.
company was very new.
Yes.
So when I went into the trade, when I look around in our office, I see about 20, 30 of me, then all in all about 50 of them. All in all about
Okay.
50, all in and out, it's about 50 ballpark figure. At the end, after every month, as every month move forward, lesser and lesser of us appear in the office. They
Mm.
literally disappear. And I think in 1 year's time, I could not see any more of those familiar faces. And that's how scary this trade
Wow.
is. The,
Okay.
the amount of uh, uh, dropouts from the trade itself was very, very high. In fact, I
Wow.
was one
Okay.
of the, of course, now after 21 years, I literally don't see them anymore. But in fact, I don't see them anymore after 2 years. After 2 years, my entire group was like, hey, where are all the newbies? All gone already. Only
So
left.
you're the last surviving, but what what kept you
What kept me?
in?
So that's the perspective of the fear
Yes.
that I had. Like, will I
Yes.
become one of them and eventually just disappear? Because real
Okay.
estate is a trait that it's very your self-discipline has to be, you do not need to go to the office. You do not need to, because they are not paying you. So
Yes.
you have to find your own money to even get to the office, find your own food and stuff. And
Yes.
I
Then
had
how
to
do you overcome all this? Yeah.
yeah, okay. So this first part is, of course, the initial part. I had some savings, very little savings.
Mm.
I don't know where my money go to lah. Then when I make all this money, I go and buy the phones, buy computer, buy laptop and stuff. So eventually, my bank account was like only left with 3 digits. So if these 3 digits, I have to save, because the thing is, when you close a transaction, the money comes in 3 months later because of the
Yeah.
conveyancing period. Yeah, unless
Yes.
you do rental. Rental also about 1 month plus later than the money comes in. So you have to be able to live through this period. I have to thrive. I cannot, even when if I can walk, I walk. Then I'll take bus. There's definitely no cabs allowed lah. Too expensive, right? Then uh and then I will always be taking my big bag, my huge bag, where my colleagues or my managers, and my managers, those senior levels one, they will say, they always laugh at me. Kevin, you going 3 days, 2 night JB tour, is it? Every day big bag one are you? Because the thing is, inside my bag, I have everything. I
Okay.
have everything. I have my water bottle, I have my lunch box, I have my dinner box. It's all inside.
Yes.
So it was
Wow.
the first 3 months was tough. First 3 months was tough, but within the first month I didn't close anything. But second month I started to close one uh uh private resale transaction. So that one used me about 7,000 commission. Seven
Wow. Okay.
$7,000 commission. And
So
that was
what was the first step you took when to break into real estate market? I mean, did you
I
have any mentors or resources that
Oh, yes,
guided
yes,
you in
yes.
those
Plenty.
days?
Actually, in real estate, one thing is you have plenty of friends. And these unknowingly, they are your mentors, because as long as you're willing to ask question, and
Mm.
I'm also known as the question boy. That time I
Mm.
was only barely 21.
Yes.
So so as a question boy, I ask a lot of questions, until sometimes my manager gets so annoyed by my question. He say, why do you need to ask this type of questions? I say, I don't understand, and I want to have a answer to it so that I can path, and I want to hear how you say it. So during then, that is the time that I literally get to so I literally, so all these seniors, even though they are just creators, but you'll be surprised that same question asked, you get 5 different answers coming back when you ask 5 different people. So
Wow.
all these people are my mentors. So there are
Yes.
plenty of mentors and then you see how they do. Or then of course you will decide which one is the best path. But most of the time I combine all the 5 answers and
Wow.
eventually get
That's
my
like Bruce Lee, yeah.
yeah, you just have to learn everything, every strokes, and how they do it. Then all the strokes and patterns that they do. Then from there you come up with your own unique that something that matches you and something that you can put into flow. And that was
Wow.
so that's how I get my first deal was I followed my manager. So my manager said, okay, you want leads, right? Okay, let's go into show flats. Because at the point of time, show flats to me is like wow, like car showroom, you get to go
Yes.
into beautiful house. But you know that the particular show flat I went to, the first project was Côte d'Azur that I went into.
Oh, wow.
The one next to Parkway Parade lah.
Yes, yes,
At the point of
cool.
time when I went in, there's only 12, I remember clearly, there's only 12 one-bedrooms still available. That means the rest of the entire 612 units were sold out. 600, that means 600 units was sold.
Yeah,
I
yes,
only left with 12 units of balanced one-bedroom units.
yes,
And literally I have nothing to sell. I had nothing more else to sell. All the buyers who continue to storm into the showroom, right, are looking at bigger units. And I
mm,
realize I don't have all these units. So I know I need to go and find people who bought and wants to sell.
yes,
So that was how I started my first business. But that means creating a, a supply for that demand. There was this
yes,
demand. So one thing about me is I'm always very creative in thinking. If I
mm,
realize that if I know somebody wants to buy something, then I'll
yes,
find something for them. Of
yes,
course, I'll first match them with the resale, whatever that's in the
yes,
market. Then if there isn't any, but if they are if they still want back Côte d'Azur a bigger unit, I mean that means more than what my one bedroom is, right? I
yes.
should be able to offer them. So that was when my first focus was. And long story, long story. I make it short. Basically, I started my GTA into Côte d'Azur,
Okay.
my very first GTA.
Wow.
When I was 21 years old. So and summary of that development, my accomplishment, right? Out of 612 units, I managed to transact more than 300 units within that development.
Wow. So
Yes.
you become like the familiar face there, lah. Okay,
Correct,
okay.
correct. I literally soaked there for I think about 3 years lah. The
Wow. Yeah, it's a nice place.
even
I've been
to the
there.
extent the contractors also know me. They will know me that hey, you're the guy that will always come in and out. And at that point of time, it's I'm not supposed to go in and out of that development because they were
Yeah.
doing construction. It's very dangerous. So I had to buy the construction hat myself.
Yes.
I have to buy it also for my clients, and I'll tell them that it's dangerous, but we just go in and take a quick look just around the development, just go and
Yeah.
see. So I was that agent I'm always very creative. So, we even with construction sets, I'll bring them in, see, and come out. Yeah, but some
Wow.
dangerous one, like the staircase haven't really do up one. I'll tell them, I say, yeah, I think you're better don't come out. We just go to the second floor that's up one first. Then we go and
Yeah.
see. Third floor one better don't go because by right, we are not supposed to be here. But anyway,
Yeah.
give you a quick glimpse of what is the exact thing that you'll be buying.
Okay.
So, but surprisingly, a lot of them are willing to take the risk with me. So I think that,
Okay.
that the gift brings me closer. So out of 612, I transacted 300 units, of which half is sales and half is rental eventually among that
Wow.
the entire development itself. So that kept me going because I had products, I had buyers. So the commission
There's
of
only one condo there. Only
yeah,
one.
just one condo. Yeah, because that was what and honestly, based on that one condo, I was
Yeah.
already the top performer within my company within the first after after the first year, if I'm not wrong, I think I was really the top performer in my company, always the top 10 for every month.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So
So, so
as a young boy, they were like, wow,
yeah.
what do you do, man? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll be awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, okay, coming to the main meat right now, right? I think inside we wrote that there's this zero to hero blueprint that we are going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So so can you describe a bit of this zero to hero blueprint? I
Mm.
mean, if you, yeah, what I wrote, right? So I don't know if you have that idea, but I'm sure you're very creative. Yeah, like what are some, like maybe you describe the zero to hero blueprint maybe in more details, particularly like we start with what are the critical elements, right, that someone new to real estate should focus on?
Yeah, I'm looking at the slides. I mean, I'm looking at the okay, what
Yeah,
you okay.
the copy we wrote, right?
Yeah. No, I mean some of the points. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
from zero to you, I think first thing first is uh
We start from zero. Like, what is
bro,
the critical elements that someone new to real estate, what should they focus on first?
I think first thing first is always they need to understand that their existing environment has shifted first, you will not be paid. You are literally, you have to tap on your own resources. So all these are literally points to one thing.
Mm,
You're not paid, you have no salary, you have no fixed income coming in, you are on your own, and what you have is only yourself and people for you to ask questions what to do. So you need to go and find the market where there's sellers and buyers. So points to one thing, you need to have a very strong business mindset.
mm,
Meaning, first thing is, instead of behaving like what during the schools, institutions, education, for you to merge in and go into an employee working mindset, the first hardest thing is easy to say, but it's really very difficult. It's for you to have that champion businessman mindset, literally to think as a business person. Because once you have the correct thoughts, your whatever you do next will be different. You are very objective driven. You are
mm,
always hunting for products, hunting for buyers. So
mm,
so I didn't know what was the word businessman mindset. So the keyword is businessman mindset. I didn't know
mm.
about this word until I eventually met more mentors along the way. But if you ask me now, I can tell you the answer is businessman mindset to really see things in a different perspective and see things as business. That's the first thing that anyone who wants to join this trade must understand and must apply. Easy to say, but you have to do it.
Because it seems that from young
Yeah,
you already had a businessman mindset because you were already creating demand and supply,
correct. I was creating
both
my
sides,
own.
you were doing that,
Yeah,
the agency thing, that was
correct,
how you started, right?
correct.
So
And
you're
that,
already creating that
yeah,
demand and supply, right?
yeah.
So
And
I
the best
think,
thing is, I think I was, those days when I had that idea, I
yes.
didn't. It's not that I've seen someone doing it, then I do it myself. No, I was the one who created this idea.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
along the way, there's a lot of new things that,
Yes.
but I wouldn't dare to say I created this lah. But I'm definitely the pioneer in doing this. Yeah,
Okay.
somebody could have done this before me because it's a very simple idea. Those piece of paper with all those
Yes.
numbers there. So
Yes.
at the point of time, I didn't see all this yet. I
Yeah.
was the one
I
who did
think
it. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
the employee mindset, I'm not sure because you're the guru here, like the employee mindset is like school, you wait to be fed on. You wait
right.
for you wait for handout, like, from teachers. Okay, I learned a lesson only if the teacher is teaching. And then from that academic, you go into the working world where you wait for the boss to tell you what to do, and so you don't actually go out have the habit of creating demand and supply. Could I say that having a businessman mindset is about willingness or having this desire to, okay, I'm going to go out there and create the demand and supply. I'm not going to wait for people to hand out to me, but I have to go out and create the demand and supply.
Find and create. Find and
Find and
create
create.
demand. Yeah, you have to go and find out because if you don't have that mindset, you will not be able, you will not want to go and find out where are the demands and where are the supply. So once you find, I wouldn't say then after that, that's when you tap on that wave of that demand and supply. That is the fastest one. And then of course, creating like what you share, creating a means for them to reach out to you. Yeah,
Okay.
creating that channel so that the supply and demand, you can see them, sniff them out, sieve them out, and get them to matchmake them, and that's when you get a brokerage fee, the value
Mm.
adding.
So how
Yeah.
do you shift from a mindset of, most people are used to employee mindset, right? But how do you shift from employee mindset to someone that would go out and create demand and supply? Because the moment they think of going out and create demand and supply, they feel lost. Like,
Mm.
where do I start? Like, what do I do? I never done this before. I never, all along I thought I just apply job, follow instruction, I get paid.
Yeah.
So
Actually, it's easy. My tip is always look into your bank account, look at your
yes,
wallet, look into your wallet, right? You will know that days and weeks and months, if you're not, no one is going to pay you. So the minute you face reality, you look at your bank account, then you look at it, it's like, oh my God, what needs to be done? I need to go and find.
yes.
So at the age of 21, actually I wrote I had this, I won't say I write lah. I had this two string of thoughts in me. The first string was um I need uh in order to survive, I need to go out into the jungle to find food.
Mm.
Okay,
Wow.
that's the first statement I wrote for myself lah. You know, in order to survive, you need to go out and find food in the jungle or in the sea. In the sea, you're going to find food.
Yes.
And the second statement I wrote for myself is no man is an island. You need to make friends because during then I was all by myself. So I only wrote the second statement. That means the philosophy in my mind, it's I need to make friends with uh along the way as I was finding food. There were so many people who don't like me because I was really literally just focusing bulldozing my way out. So I realized, how come I don't have friends one? Then I realized that maybe I need to make some friends and I need to network and tap on these people. So to me during my initial stage, it's only myself and all the seniors. Then I'll ask them. But then after I realized, how come the senior starts to like shun away from me? Then I realized, is
Mm,
it because I'm always too self-centered, just thinking about myself and myself. So I realized, other than finding food, I also need to make friends.
mm,
And that was when the entire thing starts to come together for me. Then of course, on top of that, the businessman mindset lah.
yeah, yeah.
That's the very first thing that you need to have. That's the first framework you need to have. Then
Yeah, you keep stressing on businessman mindset, but
mm,
uh, if you could make it into more concrete, like for an agent, for someone just starting out, right? What would that entail?
okay.
If you could like
So yes,
solidify it, so
yes, I understand.
yes.
So okay, so businessman mindset itself. First thing is, for
What does
example,
it look like? Yeah.
okay, so you know that you are once you have that mindset, then you start dwelling into this big word itself. So what does a businessman do? A businessman trades property. So in our trades products. In our case in real estate would be property. So a businessman trades property. Now, so in order to trade a property, it's either so someone needs to own this property or someone needs to buy this property to have this as a start, the supply. Then
Yes.
it's easy because end day you just need to reach out. Those days was newspaper.
Mm,
So or even mailers or phone calls to ask that seller if they are interested in selling. So that is when you start to find your products.
right.
Once you have a product, that is when you need to go and find your buyers. You start the market, then buyers starts to come in. Then these buyers also are homeowners, they themselves. They need to sell
Yes.
something. So that was how the entire thing kicked off. But it all
Mm,
started from a very simple mindset shift, the
mm,
businessman mindset. Then of course looking into it, understanding what this businessmen do. Then after that, going in again. Businessman ready, right? Then after that, you dwell further how to become a successful businessman. So the more products you have equals to more buyers, equals
mm,
to more transactions and more deals. Then after that, then it goes on. Then you start to dwell into a successful businessman. You start to look into how everyone. So some of us will understand what a businessman is, but the successful one, it's when you start to go deeper. How do you effectively get? That means out of 10 phone calls I make, how do you effectively get all these 10 sellers to even consider wanting to lease the unit at a price tag? How do you
mm,
script it and how do you word it effectively? You know,
mm,
and the for the buyers, they also have their challenge, meaning that now I have to pay for higher price for this condo because this sellers now wants to sell, but they have to pay a premium over what the developer sold.
yeah.
And the best thing is, usually such products it's called at that point of time it's considered sub-sale. Sub-sale is the hardest of all
Mm,
for Code Yazoo. So how do I then eventually out of 10 buyers who come and see the units that I have, how do I successfully convince them to wait through the 2 years of construction period, at the same time get them to pay a premium, and at the same time to get them to take actions immediately.
mm,
So all these are the my thinking framework that I started to apply just purely on one condo that I was doing earlier on. Of course, along the way, I came up with, so I started to have my own theories and my own methods and own frameworks to share. So maybe
mm,
later on, I can share with you more like how do I function these days and stuff. So then looking at another illustration is for once you have the correct mind framework, the minute you walk into any developments, any show flats or any uh let's look okay, maybe a smaller picture first. Let's
mm,
to it when you have a businessman mindset, when you walk into a seller you're going to pitch for a listing, the seller, they will probably tell you that the seller will, so what is in the mind of the seller? You have to start thinking already. Then
Mm.
what is your objective when you're there? So do you take on every business? Do you take on every products? If the seller is unreasonable, the price is so crazily high, do you still take it on? Do
Mm.
you still list it? Do you still help the seller market? Things like that. So as a
Yes.
business person, you already start to process whether this unit will move or not move. Then when you have like tens or twenties of this type of sellers in the same development, in the same categories, I think that at the point of time, I had about 150 listings of that particular condo. So I was able to sort them into, so you've asked me, my answer is, even though sometimes the sellers, they are very unreasonable, I still list them together because they are along my products, ma. But
Mm.
this eventually forms as a base. When my buyers talk to me, I'll show them, look, you're looking at 3 rooms, right? Let me show you what is my 3 rooms inventory. I got 20 units. Among these 20 units, some are high price, some are reasonable price. So if you look at this, which are the star buy units? That was when I will highlight to them. So I use all this information to give to the buyers so that buyers are able to make a more sound decision based on this.
Mm.
So
So you
so
create a choice, lah.
really a choice for
I
them.
mean,
So
networking is crucial in real estate, but how do you build a network from scratch? I mean, what strategy worked best for you in those early days?
okay, the some of the strategies is you do
Like
first,
building the supply and demand is,
correct. So how I
I mean,
build
you
the
said you started in the show flat first, right? But where do
correct.
you get all these 300 buyers from
Okay,
or sellers?
it starts with it's like chicken and egg. So seller first or buyer first. So the beauty about real estate is you can work from either one, either from the seller or the buyer. So in the show, at that point of time, nobody wants to do showroom because first you only have 12 units of 1 bedroom. And
Yes.
because nobody wants to do this, and because I have a businessman mindset, you see that's the first shift. My
Mm.
my first shift. So when I enter into the showroom, so these people who visit the showroom, some of them are buyers, some of
Mm.
them are existing sellers. That means they already bought something. They just go
Yes.
bring their friends to go and see this development.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I bought this unit, I bought this, so and so here. So then at the point of time, I will approach because I'm always the only one in the showroom. So
Yes.
because Bolang nobody want to do. So I'll just go and approach these sellers, and then I'll get these sellers uh to give their contact number to me, and then eventually, and how do I do that with the sellers? I'll tell them that okay, so if you are, it'll be good if I can also have a contact number with you so I can update you the progress of this development as we go.
Very good.
So yeah, so
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 I think you were able to see a situation where other people cannot see a
mm,
gold mine, like this is a dustbin, it's like nothing. But
correct,
then you can see how that can also
right,
be turned into a gold mine. I think
yeah,
that's a businessman mindset, right?
yes,
And and a lot of agents will be, oh, this project can I got no unit really. But then if you're starting out, it's good because you go there, you get the collect contact. That's the
correct,
first step.
correct. And then the best
Yes.
part is the the so being a young chap, you got no resources. The only thing I have was plenty, was my time. So
Mm.
when I use my time to exchange for all these initial leads, then
Mm.
of course this is not enough. Then I realized that I need to replenish this supply even more, even stronger, so that I have I stands out from all the agents who are doing this project. Because most
Mm.
of the agents then they only have 1 or 2 units.
Mm.
They only have 1 or 2 units for lease. So I started to go into all the newspapers, started calling all of them and lease their unit with me. But of course, the returns I have to share the com with this seller's agent if I do
Mm.
sell. But not knowingly, my listing starts to multiply because I started working with them. Then at the
Mm.
same time, that means it's an outsourced product. Then also at the same time, I started advertising. I started getting clawing out all the data from that time was Singapore. Singapore being Singapore, we do have our registry of all the homeowners, but you just need
Mm.
to pay for it. Buy them. We call it we caveats. So I started
Yes.
buying caveats and I started to get all this homeowners contact numbers. So I started
Mm.
calling them one by one, even at the very early stage. So my strategy, everything was different. Then again, a businessman application. When other people were going into the showroom, they were asking themselves, what are they doing there? But me being the having the correct mindset. I know clearly what was my objective when I was in the showroom. My job is to collect listings, collect buyers. And then even when I'm in, and I use the showroom as an office to work.
Mm,
And the thing is, this office is so far from my then home, Ang Mo Kio
mm,
three-room HDB. I had to travel like almost 45 minutes via bus to reach there. And then to and fro every day. So when I was in the show flat, that's the real time when I meet the customers, and then at the same time also looking into making all the phone calls and stuff when I was there, when there is no one walking into the showroom. So that is the major mindset shift and how do I apply? Actually, if you ask me, uh, I didn't know what I was going to do the next day, but I know when I was there, I know I don't want to do nothing. So I want
mm,
so one thing just leads to another. But
mm,
the thing is, if you don't, and the thing is, uh, y- there was no pioneer in that time. There was no pioneer in doing all these steps. And even if there are pioneers, they likely will not share with you how they do it. So I had to
yeah,
find out
yes,
and figure my way out. Then but so one thing leads to another. But I know one thing for sure: if I stay at home, with that wrong mindset,
yes,
then things is not going to change. So with the correct mindset, one thing eventually leads to my end closing. And I know my ultimate goal is I want to close deals, ma. So this
yes. So I would say you have this mindset that when you went into the show flat, you tell yourself, no, I gotta make sure every minute, every second is productive. I don't want to waste any minute, any second. So you have this mindset. So if you want to be a productive agent, you're gonna have a desire to want you. Nobody can force you to have this kind of mindset. But if you really want to be a productive agent, then you're gonna have this mindset that if I'm going to go into a show flat, I'm going to make sure every minute, every second is being maximized, is being used. I don't want to sit around,
yes,
talking to colleague, joke. Then when there's nothing, I could do something
correct.
productive. When I'm there to be productive.
Yep.
Right. Awesome. So, what were some of the biggest mistake you made in the early days, and how do you learn from them?
Okay. I think the early days mistakes. I think first one will be uh I remember my first 3 days in the show flat. I was doing nothing. Even though I had the right mindset, I went
Yeah.
into the showroom. Then I was, I had my big, my bag is so heavy that I had to have wheels so that I can bring it in. It's like a cabin size luggage.
Wow.
That's how
Okay.
big it is. Yeah, cabin size one. Then I will go sometimes not even cabin. Sometimes cabin also cannot fit. I think the cabin size is a mid size one. Have to check in one. Check
Okay.
in luggage. So I'll bring that check in luggage. Then I'll go into the showroom, open up my briefcase, and then all my stuff will come out. Then I think the first 3 days was like I asked myself like no, I was literally doing nothing. I remember going into the showroom, like look at myself. Okay, is my tie correct? Then I was sit at the counter looking pretty, looking good. Then it's like I started like pondering. Then also at the same time, I see buyers going in and out, but I don't know what to do with them. So
Mm-mm-mm.
so that was the time that I felt that if I had uh started, there were times where I literally switch off my brains and I just don't function. I just uh I okay, at the point of time I didn't know about this word called businessman
Yeah.
mindset. So when I was there, I literally just wasted my time for the first, I think first week or first few days, at least minimum 3 days doing nothing. So that was I think if you ask me, that will be my biggest mistake because you're wasting time. So on my bus journey to and fro, I keep asking myself, what am I doing there? And why is it nobody wants to do this job? And I'm the only one doing this. Then that was when a lot of self-doubt and a lot of self-questioning comes in, that
Mm,
what do I need to do? Then also, I think that's the first mistake, wasting of time in the showroom doing nothing. Then number two is um when I started to find a way in this business, I do have uh, customers coming in at the same time.
mm,
and then I would have like buyers who comes in because they are supposed to meet me at 2, and then I will overrun some appointments. So then my next one that comes in, which is I was in time to serve, I will still want to serve. So I was greedy like I want my existing client. I also want to serve the new client. So this is when I cannot manage multiple. So I remember there was one distinctive time I had 3 customers at the same hour. That was how aggressive I was lah. And then I couldn't multitask, and eventually the 3 customers also didn't buy anything and walk away. And so these are some of the learning curve that I went through. Then what other mistakes? Let me think. Mistakes. Mm,
So I think the first one was not taking initiative first, right? Because
mm.
I think you were just new. I think you were just trying to observe first, what's going on. You don't know what you don't know what you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
you were first 3 days you were probably just observing, but you do already have this mindset that you want to go there and be productive initiative. I mean, if not, I mean, lugging a luggage, from Ang Mo Kio all the way to Parkway is no.
Yes.
It tells that this person is serious. It tells me he's here to zhougang or do something. But I think you're just trying to get your feet on, trying to feel the market. So first, but you already going in there observing and self-questioning, you're observing, so you actually do have already a desire. You're actually taking initiative, but you were just observing first, and then before you start to take action, right?
Yep.
So but inside you, I think having a business mindset is more like you are someone who's very initiative. You don't wait for things to happen, and that's what a business entrepreneur should be, right? Yeah, so I think this is something that most people uh, are not. Yeah, they don't realize that. They're just waiting for instruction, waiting for the manager to tell them instruction what to do. Now you don't tell me what to do, I don't know what to do. You're gonna tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree to that. Yeah. Then other than that, I think some of the mistakes I've done, it's or one grave mistake.
Mm,
Speaking of that. I wasn't, even said so much, the businessman mindset. I still miss out one thing. That means it's about expanding your supplies. So, but
mm,
that time I was only so narrow-minded into supplying Kodiazu.
mm,
When I had other alternative, example, I can supply resale around there. I didn't tap onto that in the market. The resale,
mm,
that means apart from Kodiazu, there are also resale, like the if I didn't remember the name wrongly, it's D Croatia,
mm,
which is the one at Steel Road, the corner freehold. Then at that point, there was also another new launch called the Sea View.
mm,
The Sea View was going to launch. So and then Amber, then all these projects around me, I literally just shut off. I'm just focusing on Kodiazu. That was the gravest mistakes that I had, because if I had opened up my mind, or someone would have to come and my manager, I won't say my manager lah, won't blame him. But if someone would have like tell me, hey Kevin, why are you so fixated on Code Diazo only? Why don't you just open up your horizon to more products? So at
mm,
the point of time, it's like I was afraid that, because I was only 21, I was
mm,
afraid that I cannot handle. And
mm,
uh I don't be too greedy. So I just focus on Kodiazo, and I was making decent and good income. But if
mm,
I had opened up my supply even bigger,
mm.
I think my income would have multifold,
So
because I spent more.
would you say that we talk about I read the book about 2x and 10x, right? So
Correct.
because you were operating at the 2x, your
Yeah.
expectation was at 2x. Your expectation was not at 10x. So the way you make the decision would have been different if you have thought in 10x level, right? And I think even at 2x, you were already feeling good about it, right? So there was no reason for you to think 10x or even go 100x.
Okay, one more gravest mistake.
Yes.
So it's so fixated. I was also working alone. So at the point of time when I was showing units, because I got so when a buyer, so at the point of time when it was closer towards the TOP time, where the all the sellers got their keys. So I managed to get one set also from the seller to show it to the potential buyers.
Yes.
The way I do it was also wrong, because can you imagine one buyer comes in, I have to show them easily about 10, 20 units. So
Wow.
yeah, so the thing is, I'm literally not giving. I didn't do it correctly. Not like the before that, I was literally showing on them on Excel spreadsheet what is good because that time no keys, man. So
Right.
when I had keys, I didn't know how to do it the physical way. I
Mm,
literally had to show them one by one. Then after that, by then they were confused and they were spoiled by choices. There are so many, and
mm,
until they had to go back and consider. So if I were to turn back the clock now, I'll probably
mm,
just show them
mm,
one or two standard typical design. And then after that, I will sit down with them and analyze what is actually good for them on the Excel spreadsheet. Only
mm,
then when they shortlisted that particular unit, then I will get them to come back again and go and see. And then
mm,
this time will be even more effective. So my
mm,
production, the highest stand was not when the units physically was available. My unit strength performance was good when it was not available to see. So
mm.
I had more
Less
analysis.
is more.
Yeah, correct. So because when you're seeing, then the thing is then along this, because I was busy showing these buyers, there was so many other buyers that was being taken off by my competitors. So I
Mm.
lost a huge market then. These are some of the grave mistake that I made. Great.
Wow. Okay, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think that okay. So coming to the next segment now, we'll talk about mastering the art of close. Right, you have been described as a master closer. Maybe can you share a little bit about when did you start like being aware like, oh, okay, I need to close more effectively, or like when you start strategizing on how can I close better, and maybe can you yeah, like when you start thinking about this, and can you be some of the most effective techniques for persuasion or negotiation when it comes to real estate.
Yep. Okay. So first thing first is the start. The start itself, I started to list down the level of difficulties for any real estate transactions. So simplest being rental, followed by rental first, then followed by resale, followed by subsale, followed by new launch, then followed by sorry, the flow should be wait, rental, rental, resale, new launch, then subsale. So
Mm,
subsale being the hardest because subsale you have nothing to see at all. Literally, there's no showroom. There is only probably just one brochure. So the offsite presentation skills demands a lot.
right.
So because I started off rental being the easiest because you have the physical product, the guy just go up, the tenant just go up, look at it. Okay, the location is good and stuff. They can just commit. Resale, you also have a physical one, but because the quantum is higher, and
Yes.
new launch itself, we still have a showroom. So
Mm,
it's not that you'll be level three lah. The hardest one
mm,
is level four, which is the subsale. So during my early stage, I was being forced to master this presentation offsite because once the show flat close, there's a period where I had to do in order to close deal, I had to do offsite presentation. So that was when the skill starts to uh come in. How
wow,
do
that means you started from the hardest.
I had to because I had to survive, so I forced myself
Yes.
to self learn. A lot of this is self learn.
Yes.
So the eventually came into the uh so how so I think more important. So to first is I level the thing, which one is easy and which one is difficult and which one I want to do. And because it's the hardest, right? Nobody wants to do. So I was lucky. There was very little competitors during that time. So I was able to I was clocking in at least 10 to 15 transactions of sub-sale per month during then. Then
Wow.
yeah, so comes my very simple theory. It started off with a very simple formula. How do I do all this presentation? Then eventually to become the so-called master in presentation. So now
Mm,
the 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 part will be storytelling skills. It's very important. You must be
mm,
able to reignite the flow. Like for example for Code Diazo. So how do you start by how do you do even a simple storytelling. So a simple storytelling, there is always introduction, then
Yeah.
content and conclusion. You
Yes.
know, the main storyboard, and then after that conclusion. So my introduction will always be the same. Then the content, that means the framework will more or less be the same.
Mm.
So of course, along the years, I started to dwell more into this, and eventually, I had my own approach when it comes to selling any developments. So when
Mm.
I apply my sub-sale storytelling skills to new launches, that was when the results was fabulous. It's really shooting up the roof. You know, I could be
Wow.
able to yeah. I remember during those days when I was leading projects 15 years, 16 years ago,
Mm.
my team will always be the number one team. Even with a very small numbers, we are able
Yes.
to, a team of 5 or 6, we can beat teams who are 10 times or 20 times bigger than us.
Wow.
People who are
Because
four.
you have this framework that you taught
Oh
your
yeah. So
team.
I insist to all my team members that they must, if they cannot do a simple storytelling like mine, they will go
Yes.
out and do the hard job, which is the logistics, pulling in
Okay.
leads, and then the presenters will be the one in the cafes in the aircon, that whereas the rest who cannot, right, they'll be outside pulling
Yes.
this leads for us. Yeah, they'll be doing more of lead gen under the sun, doing hypings and stuff, site mending, some of these terms that I created. Yeah,
Wow.
pioneering the initial new launches.
Yes, this storytelling. So the first step is really in closing is actually master the art of storytelling, right? I think the art of storytelling and resale being the hardest, right? So will you be able to share with us, like I think the whole world, all the real estate agents out there, uh, would really benefit from learning this from you. It would be like
Uh,
leaving a legacy,
mm,
And what? So can you describe more about this? Storytelling framework, like why is storytelling so effective, why is it so good?
okay, so before any buyers were to, uh, before any buyers were to make a decision, it's always about options. There are always
Mm.
many options available in the market. And the sad truth is, most of this are, so sometimes when buyers look into the development, they will study the statistics approach, meaning the location, the
Mm.
performance, and then what is the potential, etc. And then
Yeah.
is this a wise entry, or do I have a proper exit?
Mm.
These are some of the frameworks that most buyers will have. But ultimately, buyers are still humans. They are
Mm.
still humans with a, uh, they look at buying attributes. Buying attributes also means what is the beauty of the aesthetic,
Mm.
what is the charm, and what is the attractiveness that will bring them to want to look at this a second look. So
Mm.
ultimately, because most buyers, in my perspective, most buyers when they buy, it's as much as investment. There's also an element because property has got this charm where you
Mm.
can buy and you can consume at the same time, meaning you can stay inside there, you
Mm.
can stay inside there. So the ability to show them that this is nice, it's important, and
Mm.
hence storytelling. It's not just when we are selling property, it's not just brick and mortars. It's
Mm.
something way more than that. It's a selling attributes or buying attributes that any salesperson should be able to help this property, inject life into this property, and help this property speak for itself. That means,
Mm.
hey, I'm really different from. That means the property must be able to say, I'm different, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome. This is
Mm.
something that you want to have, and why is it something that you want to have? So many salespeople, in fact, majority of the salespeople out there in the world, they are only selling brick and mortars. That
Mm.
means how location studies and stuff, and they often missed out the part that the emotional aspect
Mm.
I move into, because ultimately, even when the buyers were to enter via date statistics, there is this thing when they move in, they're going to stay there. When they are staying there, the family is going to stay there.
Mm.
Going to see the good and the bad of staying into that development.
Right.
Oh, I got to walk so far to get my grocery, and this and that, and they often neglect the goodness of every development, because every development has their good and their bad. So
Yes.
a good salesperson must be able to fan out all the goodness of that particular development. What are the selling attributes?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and to be able, so I always have this saying in my classes, I always say this, anyone can recite USP, selling attributes, but how
Yeah.
many can put this and create a burning desire within the buyer's mind to have that butterfly effect to want to own this property.
Mm.
Uh, so this is what I
And
always
that's where storytelling comes in.
correct, because
Wow.
the storytelling skills is actually not difficult to learn. It's really something simple for anyone who wants to sell anything. You must be able to relate. There must be some stories to so that people, buyers are more. They will lean more towards you because they realize that you really are able to share with them. This product is not just brick and mortars, but really something. It's really a home, and and especially for people who are not familiar within a certain location, it is
Yes.
important that you share them um, what are the perks, not
Mm.
just on paper, but really, really to help them see themselves staying in a home even before they own a home.
Wow.
This, and
Because most people don't relate selling real estate into storytelling, because
not at
storytelling,
all.
yeah. So how did you came to conclude, or how did you stumble upon, like, hey, I think I need to tell a story, to sell the property? Like, how do you conclude, or stumble upon this?
It started from the sub sale portion where I had to do off-site presentation, no show flat, nothing, and
Yes.
I had to do a presentation at a nearby location, Yakun coffee
Yes.
store, selling
Yes.
Kodiazu, which is next door, sub sale, nothing to see, only floor plans, all date papers. So the storytelling skills is even more critical and important,
Wow.
at the point. So some
Did you
people
put the
yeah, they think that
sorry,
it's not
sorry.
important. A
Mm.
lot, actually, in fact, most of the creators I talk to, many of them they see this not as important. They lean more towards affordability and also the paper facts. But for me, I think it's really sometimes about I relate to uh because end day, if you ask me, with so much options, how do you stand out? That means when you want to fan, let's say you're trying to push this product, how do you make this product literally stands out? Like it's really the same discipline as buying a car.
Mm.
A cheap car and an expensive car both do the job. They can both get from point A to point B within the stipulated time, and they all can run 90 kilometers per hour. But
Yes.
question is, why some people buy the more affordable one and some people buy the super expensive one, the super flashy one?
Yes.
If you ask me, the logic is always about the preference. What brings you to even see that car in the first place? It's the aesthetic appearance that appeals to you. The color, the shape, the design,
Mm.
and then the feel that's inside. Not only the feel that's inside, how people look at you when you
Mm.
come out or when you're in the car, the people look at you, who is the one driving this car, who is the person next to you. So all
Mm.
this spans the emotional aspect, because if you ask me, logically speaking, we look at papers, I will buy
Mm.
the most affordable one. But
Mm.
the true facts be told, majority of Singaporeans, they are driving continental car,
Yes.
continental car. And why the premium is almost double or triple with the same thing that can do the same job. So looking at this, that was when, hey, the buyers that I'm selling to, these are people driving continental car. These are people who want they also look at aesthetic. They don't just look at pure brick and mortars. If they're looking at that, then might as well they buy HDB.
Mm.
So I'm not selling HDB. So this storytelling skills is so critical and it's so important to have. And the fact that the facts that many so people in my team, they will always relate to me as the storyteller, meaning you must be able to write scripts, you must be able to fan burning desires and buyers when they talk to you, and they must always, and the best part is, most important, after they, so again, businessman mindset, when the
Yes.
buyers you, if they don't buy or eventually they buy more, that objective of that meeting itself, they must be able to have a deep impression of you and the
Yes.
product that you're selling. They must remember this, because after talking to you, they may be talking to another person
Yes.
or many other people. So how do I make this lingering effect last in them? So it is really
Wow.
the storytelling, and
That's powerful.
that's very powerful. And then because of that, I had many. I was able to, in fact, out of 10 presentations I do, five or six will buy on the spot. The other four, they will go back within a week or less. They will come back to me and we will transact. So my success rate there was very, very high during then. So
Wow.
I talk to, unless they really don't have the budget or the means to afford, then that's when I'll offer them another solution. So for me, my conversion was literally close to, I wouldn't say 100%, but well, at least a good 90,
Yes.
95% closure,
Wow.
because every
Wow.
buyer was so important to me. Every
So
buyer.
can you tell me, like, what was the earliest story, if you can still recall the Azo, because that was your first love. I would say the first, um, you remember we always remember first love. So your
Right.
first love, right? When you did Code the Azo, what was the story you was? Do you still remember?
Yeah. A glimpse of it. That is almost 20 years ago. So,
Yes.
so first thing is my style is always, I will always talk about the name of the development, like introduction to this place. Why is it called Côte d'Azur? Why do we have so I'll tell them that Côte d'Azur basically is a French name. It's a French word, and it's a French word for a beach in France. And why did we name this Côte d'Azur? Then if you look at this, Singapore, we are really very small. We won't have the luxury like what France has. But what we wanted is to create a France-like beach in Singapore, and then and hence this name. And ironically, we have an East Coast Park just in front of us, and this is the closest we can get. The lifestyle simply just like another Côte d'Azur, but this is the Côte d'Azur of Singapore. So you see, once I do a simple illustration of the name itself, and of course I'll go into, I remember I will tell them about the lifestyle. What is the lifestyle that Côte d'Azur wants to have? What is the concept? What is the theme that the developer wants the buyers in Côte d'Azur in Singapore to have? And it's something that it will be out of the world. And then of course the next attribute is, but what Côte d'Azur in Singapore, it's way better than even in France. It's because number one, we are in Singapore, safe. Not only that, you're next to a mega mall, the mall that is supporting all the eastern people who are
Yes.
staying in the Katong cluster,
Yes.
Telok Kurau cluster, Marine Parade cluster. This entire huge cluster, this is a cluster where we have very little HDBs, mainly all landed and private
Yes.
estate. So this mall itself, it has a very strong selling attributes. So it's something that many areas in Singapore doesn't have. And if you are East person, I don't need to say much to you because you already know the draw that this Parkway Parade has. So I use all the selling attributes to strengthen and fortify the name is just purely on the name itself. Then I go into the design aspects, the color theme, the landscaping, the way it's being shaped, the way it's facing the beach, where are the premium blocks, and then even the internal facing units, what are the premiums that they are having. So there are so many selling attributes. So then again, that was when I will start looking at, as I'm saying the story, that's when I'll start to look at the buyers and see how they behave when I'm talking. Because when I talk about this is super premium because it's facing the sea, and we are talking about 180-degree of unblocked sea view, because literally this is a permanent view where no one can see you, and this is a view that will never change even in times to come, because you won't have a structure in the middle of the sea coming up to block you or in front of East Coast Park, and it's not possible, blah blah blah. Then the
Yeah.
internal view also permanent, but it's less premium because sea is number one, natural then number two is the man-made, the view. Then the next
Yeah.
two, Parkway won't go away. So literally the entire development, when I sell, it's like if you do even get to own a unit here, it's priceless. This is going to be a permanent structure and a permanent view that you're going to face. You're going to have. So they first, not only I fan the beauty aspect, I also give them the assurance that this is something that's going to go on for life. Marine Parade Road won't go away. The
Yes.
Parkway Parade won't go away. Then maybe the one on the right side, which is Silver Sea, that time was called Amber something. I can't remember. Amber something. Then eventually got M block and became Silver Sea. So
Yes.
same thing also, they were concerned that this Silver Sea will block their view. So I'll tell them that no, this one eventually, if it does get M block and something were to come out, it's going to increase the value of Côte d'Azur even further, because when they buy the next door land, and they rebuild it, they will sell it at the prevailing market rate at a premium. So when Far East bought Silver Sea, wow, I tell you, my business flourished, man. Because it's like they know they're not going to sell cheap, they're going to sell way
Yes.
expensive. And Silver Sea was at the point of time when Côte d'Azur was going about 1,002, 1,003 PSF, they were launching they were breaking through $2,000 per square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also 99 years leasehold.
Yes.
So it helped me a lot in Côte d'Azur to sell. But like I said, during that time, I was very narrow. I was very narrow-minded. I just wanted to do Côte d'Azur. I didn't do Silver Sea. I had a chunk of buyers on my hand, oh, but because I was so narrow-minded, I didn't even explore wanting to put Silver Sea into my catalog.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that was some of my grave mistakes when I started this industry. Yeah.
Wow.
Of course,
That's
still I
great.
was making good money lah, but I could have made 10 times more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a framework in which like how do you create the perfect story? Is there a framework
Yes.
that
Yes.
you have?
Yes. So
Yes.
usually I start off with some of the frameworks that I'll have is I always start with the name of the project. So
Okay.
then I'll delve into the name. Why is this and what is the selling attributes of this name?
Yes.
Why this name? Then the script writing literally works on breaking down all these point bullet forms, and then
Yes.
eventually break them into benefits and breaking them into creating scripts to do this burning desire in the buyer's
Mm,
mind. Then after the name itself, I'll go into the concept of the entire the way how we built it, and then I'll strengthen on the security why these views will be permanent, and then to identify where are all the permanent views that you're going to buy. That means when you buy this, you're paying this price today for tomorrow's market price. That means you're paying uh uh the price, even though you're paying for the price now at this price, but you should be looking at tomorrow's market because tomorrow is what is coming. So what do
mm,
you see tomorrow? Will this be available at this current price?
mm,
So the views itself has to be assured to the buyers. If not, can you imagine I buy one now it's full sea view, then the next thing is suddenly something comes out, then my premium
mm,
all go to waste. These are
mm,
immediate paper loss.
right.
Then I'll go into after the concept, you'll be the architectural the aspect of the entire development, then the
Mm,
team. So after describing all this itself, that is when I will go into the uh some of the selling attributes. Like if this
mm,
if this is a leasehold or this is a freehold, and then whether what is the supply and demand? Is this the first plot or the last plot?
yeah.
So all these scripts will come in. Then
Right.
leading on to location, unit choice, unit choosing, and eventually doing the right thing, securing a unit here.
Wow.
And
Okay.
of course, what are your options? What are
Mm,
options?
mm,
So it's a very systematic flow of presentation. So when buyers talk to me, they do get the the they are able to make very sound decision without showing them big datas of the past. Because
mm,
these days there is a tendency where you know creators they like to show datas of the past. The past doesn't relate to present the way I
mm,
see. Because if you were to relate to the past, 60 years ago, Singapore is a fishing village. How are you going to use 60 years ago data to match to what we are doing today? It is
mm,
totally not relevant. The
yeah.
way how we progress from fishing village to today a developing nation, then
Mm,
what is the norm? In fact, the way how I see is I talk about even when it comes to the price analysis, I will tell them about what the future sees, and we don't have the crystal ball, we can't see, but we do have some telltales and confident in how Singapore runs
mm,
our country. So whatever they promise, this will happen.
mm,
And we also know, so I'll ask them for their opinion also. So it's not so much about me telling. So it's a lot of open discussion where it's a very intellectual discussion where I'll let the buyer decide whether are we going to go north or go south, or are we too
mm,
high, and then what is the norm? So things like that are things I share. Not so much of like telling them that, hey, you buy now, guarantee you make money and stuff. These are words that will never come out from my mouth because I will tell them that we look at the potential. What is something that's hopeful that we can predict. But
Mm,
again, I have no crystal ball. I can't see into the future. But I know one thing: you're buying tomorrow's price at today's market. So
mm,
that's what I always say as well. But I do have a lot of confidence in our Singapore government, the way when they promise, they deliver. So this is a confidence that most of the Singaporeans have because today I think Singapore has weathered through a lot of thunderstorms and they continue to emerge stronger and stronger and
mm.
we have very good leaders. So people like them, they really mean what they say. So
Wow.
it's sometimes when you're investing or buying into, it's also the nation and also into the confidence of the
Yeah,
leaders that are running the nation. Yeah.
correct. Especially even for our neighboring countries, a lot of them, the developers run away halfway the project. It's pretty common until people lose the confidence, in a lot of those developers. So I think Singapore practically, I've not come across any developers that has like forfeited any project.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
like
think
very
maybe
seldom.
yeah, Singapore has a very good framework, which is the housing controller. So these people, they literally developers can only, so buyers, they literally when they pay into the housing controller's account. Then
Mm.
the developers can only draw out this money when they completed the thing. So in the
Oh,
event, let's say this developer were to because we learn from mistakes from what others has made.
yes,
So in order not to repeat this, we have a safeguard that those developers who are gung-ho one
yes.
will make sure that the consumers are all protected. So Singaporeans are very protected when it comes to
Wow.
buying a home. Yeah.
So
So
does the storytelling framework, you do it even for rental, even for small deals to $1 million deals? It's the
yes,
same.
yes. If I have hard to rent premises,
Okay.
because there'll be, the thing is, in fact, even as we are talking, I'm always, when people throw me with those very difficult units, that means people who couldn't sell even a HDB for 1 year.
Yeah.
HDB in Singapore, if you cannot sell for 1 year, there's something either very wrong with the agent or very wrong with the house. So
Yes.
I will, but when I do it, so when people tell me, they say, hey Kevin, I have this house for 1 year I couldn't sell, or my seller or somebody or the client just call me and say, hey, this agent for 1 year couldn't sell. This house
Yeah.
for 1 month, almost coming 2 months, still cannot rent out.
Yes.
And that is when I'll tell them, let me look into this. And fortunately, every time, because when they tell me of such conditions, I know that this one requires skills really. And
Yes.
fortunately, every time when I go in, my first viewing, I will get it out within the first viewing. And that is the how I do effective marketing. So usually, like for example, the HDB that couldn't sell for 1 year, I managed to get about, I think, 6 viewings. But my very first viewing, I already optioned the house already, meaning the buyer came in and the buyer committed to the house. That's the
Wow.
yeah. The renter that couldn't rent out for almost a month plus or 2 months, right, came to
Yes.
me within the next. So I told my friend, I said, hey, send me. That friend was also my client. I said, hey, send me all your pictures. I was in a meeting, so I said, so she sent me all the pictures. So I just look at the pictures and I just list the thing and I did a quick search. What is the correct decent price? And of course I did some magic and you know the I managed to get up also about 3 or 4 tenants who inquired on the first day. So I had them and then I closed it within the first viewing.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
Same
using the
everything.
storytelling technique.
There must always be a proper flow because you see for any buyers, let's say today we talk about the renter. Let's say this tenant were to come and inquire about this property. I think first thing first is they are really here to stay. So usually I'm not so eager into showing the unit directly because the one of the key thing is if you do not have preparation, you do not prepare the tenant on what they're going to see. They are going to go up and you're going to have a list of objections coming to you.
Mm,
So in order to prevent this, I'd rather have a quick chat with them downstairs before I bring
mm,
them up. So usually downstairs at the swimming pool, that's when I started asking them about their requirements.
mm.
And then I'll tell them what to expect in the house. That means to mentally prepare them first.
Mm.
Then of course I'll tell them I would that usually rental because smaller ticket item it's different needs lah. They are
Mm.
going to stay only short term, so the storytelling don't need so much. But you
Yes.
talk about the HDB one, yes, you need because it's a 1 year old house that have not been sold. So it
Mm.
definitely has a special of challenge. So
Wow.
yeah, so same thing lah. Oh, you have to prepare them first. You have to
I'm just
make sure
curious.
that they are conditioned
Okay,
before
okay.
they go
I'm
up.
just curious. When the agents joins you and they get started, right, and they try to sell for like maybe 6 months, 1 year, or they couldn't sell, right? Do you actually go down to the site with them to like explain to them, uh, like actually this thing can sell, like why are you not? How are you selling it? Then you're trying to find out and correct them and help them. Have you done that before? I'm
Yes,
just curious.
yes. Okay, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Initially, yes. In fact, all my agents, if they face such difficulties, I'll go down with them. I'll rectify with them. But these days, I have more than 3,000 agents uh,
Yes.
in my own group. And I because of my portfolio, I'm taking care of almost 5,000 plus, close to 6,000 agents.
Yes.
So I can't afford to go down with them. My time are so packed. So what I
Yes.
do is usually I'll analyze with them on the pricing first. Is this a fair market value? Is this a price that you will buy yourself first? I'll ask them this question. So if it's not, right, why are you listing this price so high? What
Mm.
is your strategy? So what
Maybe
are
they
the
didn't use the storytelling technique.
correct? No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, that. But to train them storytelling over the phone is very difficult.
Mm,
So
mm, mm.
the usually what I'll do is I will analyze the raw statistics with them first. Then after that,
Okay.
I'll tell them, so what are some of the selling attributes? What you could tell the clients, and some of the methods I will share with them. Like, maybe you do this before that. Then if they still couldn't settle it within the next 1, 2 viewings, I will always encourage them, please call me again. Then I will make time to go down and find for you. But most of them I'm able to solve the problem within I would dare say 90% because usually they don't call me anymore.
Okay. Yeah,
Maybe I
yeah, yeah.
get the wrong message or what but 90% of them they don't call me. So I hope they have managed to sell the units. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Those units that
Awesome.
can sell,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. But if
So,
you really need to, I will go down with them because some is really even Zoom can't solve this problem. You have to bring me, I have to be there to appreciate. Because sometimes there's this, I also wrote this, being there and knowing where is two different things. You're there physically and you know where it is. It's the emotion aspect is totally different. How the feel, the what is the first feel, when you enter the house or when you enter that estate,
yeah, yeah.
what's the first feeling that comes to me? The feeling is something that cannot be replaced by paper or anything that's offsite. You have to be there to appreciate one. And
All right.
ultimately the buyers who are there, they will feel what I feel. But what I feel usually is even stronger, way stronger, because I've seen so many. It's like the old bird, huh? So
Yes.
the old bird, once you see it, you're like, oh shit, this one is going to be challenging. So you
All
need
right.
to know how to position it properly. So to me,
Mm,
to me, there's not a lousy house to sell. There is
mm,
only agents with lousy skills.
mm, mm.
It's always about the so end day when clients work with us, they always get the best results because we know how to position, we know how to effectively price it to be fair, so that
Mm.
even the if sometimes I'll even ask the client back, will you buy this unit at this price
Yes.
if you know that the market is going for that price?
Yeah.
I'll ask them back lah. So the true fact is, realtors, we work in tandem with our clients. That means we have to work as a partner. We are
Yeah.
not working under you. Because
Right.
ultimately, if you see yourself working under them, then that's when you become a slave driver. Whatever they say you have to deliver, you
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
So that's
Correct.
something that I don't agree lah. So sometimes I will turn away business, but rarely I do that lah. Rarely I do
Okay.
that. I take on all business and I want to work with the sellers. Yeah, and
Yes.
even some sellers that I turn away, professionally, they will
Yes.
still come back to me because they know that this guy really know what he's saying and he's not desperate for business,
Mm,
and
mm, mm,
his reputation exceeds him. But
mm.
they also know that if they also know that there's this. price tag on me. They say if you want Kevin to do things, be prepared to pay him. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, correct.
I mean, okay. Having said that, I think you mentioned quite a lot of times people still come back to you, even though the first time didn't buy from you, they later on still come back to you, right? So
Yeah.
how do you turn a lead into? I mean, you seem to know how to turn a lead into a loyal client. Are there specific steps or strategies that you have in mind or you follow, uh, that you a way of thinking that allows you to, like, okay, I know, like, I can quite pretty confident I can turn this lead into a loyal customer.
Um, well, I think if let's say, okay, so let's talk about buyer and seller. So if you're talking about buyers, I think at end day it's really getting to know why they are doing this, why they are buying, know their motivating reason for them to buy first. That's the first thing you have to establish. And then
Yes.
because buyers buy for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
It could be investment, it could be because they are getting married, they are buying for their children. So different kinds of motivating reasons for them to buy. So establish that reason. Number two, find out what are their, so based on the first reason, you're able to find out what are their requirements.
Yeah.
Properly mapped out what they want comfortably. Don't let them overstretch. Uh, Take care of them. And then I think more importantly is uh in order for I dare say 90% of my clients that I work with, they are all my friends. Because
Mm.
after that, we will have established a friendship. And because I think one thing is you have to be sincere and you have to be always telling them what can be done, what cannot be done, then guiding them to do the right thing. So when they see this, right, they form this friendship and loyalty with you because they know that you are no nonsense one. You really help them and you tell them, this one can buy, that one cannot buy.
Mm.
Then from there itself, we establish the relationship with a buyer. For seller wise, usually what we do is after we manage to, why seller sells for two reasons, either to make money or to recover their capital.
Mm.
So if they are selling to make money, all kinds of reason. Sorry, selling to make money because they just want to reap in the profit lah. But
Yes.
selling to recover costs comes with a lot of reasons.
Mm.
Retirement, migrating away, business lose money, they are in debts. They need to
Mm.
they need to recover the cost. They need to
Right.
relinquish one to take out the cash. So then that's when you start again to understand and position the price the unit properly. Then after that again, so most of them when they sell, they have some
Mm.
money with them. They after they settle their stuff, right? That is when you start to bring them to working with them on the finances,
Mm.
their portfolio, and then to manage this for them to help them to continue to make money.
Mm.
So when they make money, you make money, and then they also introduce friends to you.
Yeah, and you gotta have that in mind, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome.
It's, it's,
Okay.
it's, there's a lot of it. There's actually, you ask me, it is literally a very simple business, but at the same time, if you it's actually less tiring for you to keep exploring new market, but to take care of your existing portfolios. This
Mm.
is also one thing that many creators they missed out lah. Because ultimately the population in Singapore is only this much. So if you keep thinking that if you just do a one-time business with that deal and you don't go and take care of them,
Yes.
chances is when their children wants to buy something, they won't come back to you. So
How do you keep them at top? Keep you at Is there a strategy to keep them at top of mind? Like, after you rent finish already, right?
right.
So after you sell finish already, after the buyer buy already. So how do you? Is there any strategies that you teach or you do that?
Yes, I do.
Like, how do you keep them top of mind after this
Sure.
or after first viewing, or
Right.
yeah?
So usually during the transaction itself, we will see each other, we will talk to each other a lot more.
Yes.
But after the transaction, the thing is, the the true fact is there's no kang tao, no lobang for the next 2 years or 3 years. So how do you keep them remembering you? I leverage a lot on technology, like
Mm.
social media. Social media is one. Constantly interact with them on social media, make them your followers and follow them. So because social media these days are also a very habitual thing that we do in the
Mm.
morning, when
Mm.
we have nothing to do, we start to scroll and then we want to be capo like what they are doing. They want to be capo what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we keep each other informed Then at the same time, I think very importantly is the discipline of sending messages, especially greetings. Greetings on important occasions. You should have your, again, leveraging on the tools that you have, WhatsApp, Telegram, and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
depending on which country clients that you're serving.
Yeah.
And greetings of special events lah, like Christmas lah, New Year lah,
Yeah.
and all the different holidays. Even if you don't celebrate, they celebrate, so you wish them. And usually what I do is I don't wish them on the actual day. I wish them 1 or 2 days before.
Okay. Yes.
I'll be the first one. Okay. Then the subsequent one is very important is their birthdays. Birthdays. Then if they are clients that you have you do make a significant amount from them, you want to
Mm.
appreciate them, right? Even the next 3 years, there's nothing to make from them, right? You still send them a gift.
Mm.
Send them a gift, let them remember you, like, wow, this guy really still have my heart, and of course, occasionally text them, how's things, bro? Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, not only when I got lobang, then or only when I got kang tao, then I text them. It's like
Mm.
sometimes I scroll, let's say I'm looking for you, Winston. So then the thing is, I also see other Winston. Then I'll be like, hey, who is this Winston? Or my client. I'll just like, hey, how's things, bro? You know,
Okay.
I try to do as much as you can. So in fact, we have this discipline that we want to reach out to at least 20 prospects every day.
Wow. Okay.
Or that means this 20 prospect, it can be your old clients, can be your friends or what. Just reach out to 20 people every day. But
Okay.
for me, at my level, I mean, right now, what I'm doing right now, I'm reaching out to at least 100 people, 100 agents every day.
Wow.
Myself.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
what I'm doing now. That means every day I'm trying to reach out to 100 agents. So, but what I saw over the last 3 weeks, I was only recently promoted, but when I started doing all this, I could see that I'm garnering a very strong ground support. That means
Wow.
people knows me personally,
Yes.
not just as a senior figure, but as a friend, as a person.
So not only is that that works for clients, that also works for building a strong agency, right?
Correct, correct.
Yeah,
Because
I
right now
think not everything
yeah,
that we cover during this interview would be published in the book, right?
sure.
So because after the book is over, when we finish the book, I mean, you'll probably vet through it as well. We may even take this interview and cover it into several books instead of just one book.
Oh,
You know,
good.
yeah. So yeah, we've covered quite a bit actually. From we have gone from mindset, champion mindset, from your starting from your upbringing, your background. Helping people overcome their own mindset of like, oh, people had it better. This agent had it better. That's why he's top. This person, uh, you know, had a good start. That's why, in fact, you start from the worst, the hardest, you know, and so maybe then they'll say, oh, maybe you're smart, or something like that. That's why I can't do it. I'm not as smart as Kevin Geow. What would you say to people like that? Who tell you, hey, Kevin, you're different. You're very smart. I'm not smart. What would you
Okay.
say to
Oh,
them?
okay. So usually what I do is I'll tell them that uh actually the thing is I do get actually I do have all these disclaimer when I was doing when I'm doing classes, because usually I'll tell them, hey, look, this is the problem, and then I'll give them so first thing is the to let them know what they don't know, so that at least when they do not know what they don't know, we are able to identify and acknowledge that's a problem. So when we acknowledge that's a problem, then we also recognize that there's a need to fix this problem. Then
Mm,
I'll come up with solutions. So solutions portion, they will, when I tell them solutions, I'll always say, Kevin, you say until like so easy, and so how are we going to do it? Then I'll show them step by steps how we do it. So for them wise is either they follow my string of thoughts, and they do it together with me, or they choose not to do lah. Then of course they so far I don't have this comments, because the way I don't do. I always tell them I'm not a very smart guy. I always tell them, I say, but what makes me different from many, it's I like to ask question. And if
mm,
you're like me, you like to ask question, you will see yourself. And the thing is, when you ask questions, when people give you solution, if you don't have a better solution, then you better take that solution that is given to you.
mm,
Just sometimes I always tell them, you don't need to be very clever. You just need to go follow.
Yes.
Follow means you just do it. Don't need to think, just execute. Then you see
Yes.
results. And when you see results, this is when you will start to see uh things happening. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Things happening.
Sometimes you just have to see copy what's successful. You don't have to actually fully understand. You just need to know that you're not experienced in the area. Okay, so if you're not experienced, starting from there, you just copy first. Copy first, and then if you get result, they see it works. It's like aircon. You don't have to know how the aircon inside the intricacy work, right? You just
Right.
know that if I press this button, it will work. Okay, so I will press this button.
Yes.
So
But the thing is, truth be told, for them it's a lot of how should I say, it's not easy to get my methods into them, and it's not easy to get them to agree sometimes also.
mm,
Sometimes they, in class, I can show them the methods, the flow, and my drift. I'll tell them, if you get my drift, and then do you understand the words that's coming out from my mouth? So the thing is, even though they understand, but I also know, as a student myself, when I was
mm,
in their shoe,
mm,
it took me multiple trainings to eventually master and be a practitioner.
mm,
And again, the statistics is, I always believe in the law of average.
mm,
20, then, so 20%, let's say assuming a class of 100, only 20 people in the class will understand what I've just taught in the last 90
mm,
minutes. And then out of the 20, if you put in again another 80-20, that's when you get the top 5%.
mm,
So the top 5% will walk out, which is 5 people will
yeah,
walk out understanding and applying.
mm,
And then that 5%, if I apply another 80-20, I only get 1%. This 1% will walk out understanding, applying, and eventually become a pache to me,
mm, mm.
or someone who's able to do that training like me eventually.
Yes.
But
Wow.
this only
Okay.
comes, but I can tell one thing, sometimes is this top 1% is hard to come by. Because if
Yeah.
I can find top 1%, then this is when my jobs get easier. I'm
Yes.
able to uh,
Replicate.
replicate, and then I'm able to scale, and I can
Wow.
reach faster. I can reach my end goal faster, and I can be comfortable faster. So
Okay.
I'm always searching for this. I'm always searching for this top 1%. But I tell you,
Mm,
even so, in order to increase this, even this 20%, I have to do and do and do and do and do and do.
yes.
And but one thing encouraging is every now and then I do get a lot of very good messages. In fact, every day on a daily
Mm,
basis, I get a
mm.
lot of all these. I didn't ask for this, but they will always text me and thank me for the training. It's really sincerely from themselves because they saw results after applying what I share.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
yeah, and now we come to the next portion, which is leadership and team building, right? Which is, I mean, leading an army of 5,000 is really no small feat, okay? So, I mean, do you have a core principle, that got you to build such a high performing team? What do you think makes a high performing team?
Well, I think first thing is the what do you call that? The performing index of each agent, meaning these agents who are out of the 5,000, what is the average each agent is making? That means taking the total amount of revenue divide by this 5,000. So
Mm,
what is our average performance per agent? That's the first one we measure lah. But of course, we know that again, 80% of these agents, they are like they don't come for meetings, they don't come for trainings, they are just on their own.
right.
So the real performers are the top 20%. So instead of me, sometimes what I do is for me to reach out to the entire 5,000, it's faster for me to just focus on this 1,000.
Mm,
So when I focus on this 1,000, in fact, right now, what my strategy is, I'm trying to raise the army uh, to drill on only on this 1,000. This
mm,
1,000 elites that I want to work with, and to let them, it's easier to push them and to
mm,
get them to understand my string of thoughts than to focus on the 80% that is like sometimes want to come, sometimes want to come. So
yes.
I'll focus on this people and get them to uh, be more productive. So
Mm,
that's
mm,
first thing is to streamline lah to on
mm,
this. So this 1,000 that, and the thing is, I don't pick and choose. So I let them pick and choose me. Meaning every time when I send out messages, I will give them an option. If you want to come into this elite team, you can join this chat. And then
Mm,
and in this chat itself, I allow everyone to add in their people, and everyone can start talking. So some people, they just cannot take the noise, they will just exit.
mm,
So this is also, to me, it's like a filter, so that I can
mm,
get my solid 1,000 Spartans
mm.
for me to get all this. Yeah. Sorry, I don't
Oh,
know if I got your question correctly or not.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like yeah, I'm just thinking this is how you actually sieve out your way of leading the team is finding the top 1%, which is top 20%, which is the 1,000 agent,
Yeah.
and working with them because they will bring in 80% of the revenue, right?
Right. So at the
Based on
same
what?
time, also, I think I okay, but correct, but I'm not trying to say that I'm not teaching 80%. The 80%
Yes,
can still come, but it's just that they need a longer time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the courses will be ongoing. I don't reject them. They can still come in. But the top 20% is where I really drill. If you want me to drill you, this is when you opt in. And then that's I'll drill you inside this uh the harder is like soldiers are army,
yeah,
then they have commandos. So these
yeah.
commandos are people that sign on and agree to want to be commandos. So these
Mm,
commandos is what I'll drill very much on. Rather
mm,
than it's easier and more focused effort for me to do this until I have more Apaches, then they
mm,
can help me reach out to more. But as much as what I can do now alone in my own team, right? This is what I can do to
yeah.
reach out.
So,
Yeah.
what's the most challenging leadership moment that you have experienced,
Wow. What are you trying
and
to?
how you handle it? I think that's very important for people who want to build a real estate team, right?
Well, I think first thing first is for as a leader, I think the toughest moment is the so for okay, instead of answering the question directly, I
Or maybe
think
you can share a story because then people find it, story sells, right? So
right.
maybe if you share a story, people can be like, oh wow, you take them through
As
the
a
roller
as a
coaster, right?
leader, I think to answer this question, first thing is you must the leader, they themselves must know what is the one culture that you want to set
Mm,
in a team. So as far as I'm concerned, as a good leader itself, it's always about value adding. So every meeting or every culture that I set off is always about how do we value add to our agents? How do we work as a team to value add to the agent? And the thing is, when you are thinking along this line and this culture itself, the sometimes leadership itself, it's about getting the leaders that is on board with you to think the same and not to think otherwise. Because every man for themselves, everyone has got their own agendas.
yes.
So as a leader, for me to do this, is about getting uh, leaders who thinks the same as me, who sees a
Mm,
bigger picture and wants to work with me. But because when you're doing value adding, majority of the time is you are doing uh, contributions. You're doing a lot of what we call national service
yeah.
back to the society. Well, it's about like so it's not that easy sometimes to get leaders with big heart, leaders who see what I see. Because I always believe when you do like for me, if you ask me my real success in this trade itself, other than my personal sales and stuff, I went into team building. There's a lot of self-sacrifice whereby I focus into value adding. And for the initial phase, you don't get paid at all. In fact, you have deficit one.
Yeah.
So the magic happens, right, when more and more people starts to join you. And then
Mm,
when more and more people starts to join you, you start to see yourself, your income just multifold. And the next thing you know that you are the supreme leader, you're
mm,
way on top. And then the money just comes. So I never, but the thing is, when I was looking at that, I was not looking at how I monetize. I was
yeah.
looking at how I value add, how I
Yeah.
create values for people who comes, and how I touch life, how I help people. So,
Mm,
so to do, but the initial stage is the hardest because you want to get people to come in and do national service review. It's like, Kevin, hey, I need to feed my family. No, what? You ask me to do all this saikang, walao. You okay or not? Things like
Mm,
that. So most of the time, it's not easy to get like-minded people
mm,
because
mm,
they don't see the. So as a good leader itself, not only I have to focus on that, I have to also address the part that the money will follow when
mm,
we have done this. And I think these days, there's so many proven business strategies that has applied because when you are able to value add to people, the e-platforms, the shopping platforms and stuff, you're able to value add to people, you make people's life uh,
easier.
easier, you get
Mm,
rewarded.
mm,
Like here, WhatsApp, they started with zero. That means they were like losing money every year on year, lose and lose and
yeah.
lose until more and more people come in and eventually
Mm,
Mark Zuckerberg bought WhatsApp over. Then you
yeah.
talk about Shopee, Property Guru platform, all these platforms, they were all losing money,
Mm,
all the value adding one. But eventually now they are all big boys and they are monetizing all the returns now. Yeah. But it's
wow.
not easy for them to come in at the start, low pay and stuff, everything to do this.
So, you're saying that the most challenging part of the leadership is the starting part when you value add and you don't see any monetary returns in the beginning,
Correct.
and also leading your leaders
And
to think the same way.
correct. I think that one is the hardest one because for me, I'm prepared because you see, end day is if you want people you want to have ground support, you need to value add to them. But doing these meets of value adding, there's a lot of no returns one. That means you don't see immediate money coming back one, and that
Yes.
should be your primary goal. Your primary
Mm,
goal is always to value add first. Then you are trying to fix a problem.
yes.
But to get the other leaders to follow you to do the same, it's the toughest part. And then the worst thing is when they started speaking otherwise behind
Mm,
you. That is when the damages really comes. And it's about how you control and how you really handhold these people and change their mindset.
mm,
So don't expect. I think the best leadership is even though you know that you're doing the right thing, you don't expect uh uh them to follow you, and
mm,
at the same time you will get a lot of what we call politics along the
mm,
way. So these politics can be really very traumatizing one. It
mm.
does affects my psychology, especially when I hear things like, wow, this guy is crazy and stuff. So those
Especially
things
because
are
you put your heart out for
correct.
them, you bear your heart out and you for them, and then it's quite
Breaking.
hurtful when you feel
Yeah.
like, hey, I've helped you, so I've helped, I really genuinely help you, and then you come back and hurt me. So I think
Usually
this
what they do
happens
is
because,
they don't even
like,
thank you. They
yeah.
don't thank you, and then they continue to speak you of you, and then they will think that they will take the words out of your context, and then they
Mm,
will say, he thinks that he's better than you, he thinks that he's better than you. He thinks that what else? What else would they say? They will say he thinks he's better than you. Then he expect us to do this for free, the and all this funny things will come back and hunt you lah. So
yeah.
ultimately it's as myself, as the head figure, it's about how I continue to believe in what I do is correct, and
Mm,
how do I get like-minded people to come on board and do this together. It's really not an easy job, especially now 21 years later, progressing into this position, leading the entire company in terms of the sales direction. So a lot of uh a lot of things you have to tweak to make it work so that you
yeah,
can
yeah.
continue to see good results coming to benefit the entire company so that we can continue to propel and continue to move forward.
So you have to, despite all these things, I think the thing to move forward is to still believe in your heart that, you know what, I'm just going to continue. I'm just adding value. I'm just going to go out and keep adding value and help those who who are in line with you, and and help them succeed.
Right. Actually, that was
Whereas those
how
who are not aligned, well, it's okay. I mean, you know it's normal for this to happen, because I know even in Property Brothers, Melvin, he shared, yeah, I know he's got team leave him also have,
right.
and things like that.
Same,
So
same. Actually, when this is how there's this Chinese saying, 不忘初心. That means
yeah,
I do not forget the origin when I started team building. In fact, when I first started my team building, I only had a very small team, five of us.
yeah.
From five of us, we grew to 40, then 40 to 80, 80 to 200, and then the next count was 1,000. Then
Wow.
after that,
Okay.
1,004, and here I am today leading the entire company. Now my direct team is about 3,000, but I'm
Okay.
leading the entire company in terms of the strategy and sales.
Okay.
So you have to always. So if you ask me, I think one thing is whatever that I may be wrong, but I think one thing is uh I always believe if you continue to value add, you value add not just to. For me, I have more, my character is I want to uh, value add to my team, also my company, and also to the society.
Mm.
Yeah. Even yesterday when I was wishing my niece 21st birthday, I was usually people's greetings will be like, welcome to adulthood, happy
Yeah.
21st birthday. So on top of all this, right, my next wishing was, I also wish that you continue to value add to society, be happy, and be someone who does the right thing.
Wow.
My birthday wish is very very weird one, but it's
Okay.
something that it is, because end day is once you go into adulthood, usually these youngsters will be like, hey, what is my purpose in life? You know,
Mm. Mm.
yeah.
So how do you motivate and inspire your team to achieve like record-breaking results? I'm sure you have ever done that before, and
Okay. So first thing first is strategy do comes into play. That means
mm,
understanding how the rules of the games is being played. Then how do you apply simple strategies
mm, mm,
to win? That means what others don't know, what they don't know.
mm,
That one I'm good at. So usually what I'll do is I will share my knowledge, and then strategy plays a critical part. Then
mm,
driving the force to, when you have limited numbers of soldiers, you need to, how do small armies beat big armies? It's using
mm,
strategy. So to I don't look at record sales lah, but I look
yeah,
at how do we eventually gain bigger market share bit by
mm,
bit lah. Because as of now, if you ask me, I think we Huttons today in the market itself, we are the third largest.
mm,
So we still have two more big boys in front of us. One is an international name, and the
yes,
other one is a homegrown big company, which they
yes,
have done the right thing. So Huttons right now, we are with me in the shoe right now. I intend to lead them to emerge as the third largest and yet the most profitable agency. So
mm,
what we do is I dwell on getting this small force of people to attack
mm,
on certain angles that I foresee lah. That means these are things that we can do and we can make money from there.
mm.
Yeah. So
Wow,
a
awesome.
little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, but I do see little success, and the ground and the energy is very different from
Mm,
before I went in. Because I was never, actually, to be honest, there's a huge transition. For the last 21 years, I was doing my own businessman,
mm,
purely as an agent, a real estate agent. This second part of my life right now, which is the starting 1st June, which is only barely 6 weeks. I see different perspective because now I'm like migrating into management. So I'm
yeah,
literally now a company man, not so much a businessman just leading my own group, but leading the
yes,
entire company with different leaders who are not in my team, leaders
yes,
who were my in a way friendly competition
yes,
peers. Now
yes,
I'm working with them, and
mm,
I have to make them see me not as a foe but as an ally.
mm,
So there's a lot of challenge, but there's also a lot of rewards lah, because I managed to win and woo over majority of the leaders on my side and see what I see, you know.
yeah.
So
I
again, they
think
were
it's
interesting.
challenging, but it also is a privilege and an honor because you get to hate a real estate company. You get to hate it which is actually a privilege. Not everybody can get to head
Great,
a,
great. Thanks.
a
I
company,
also thanks the company for their foresight and also their trust in me, lah, that they are willing to give such a they you know that they are willing to trust that I will not be self-centered doing this for my own pocket, but doing this more for a bigger cause and bigger effort. So
Mm,
it's not easy because I'm not related to them, no. I'm not their children or what, no. So
yes.
it's really an honor, like you say. I totally agree. For me to even people ask me why am I doing this? It's not as if you need this job, and it's so challenging, and it's got so much. Despite doing this the right way, you got so many uh, politics and so many hurdles to clear. So many people are against you.
Yeah.
You get all those. But along the way, now I get lesser and lesser of this negative. I get
Mm-hmm.
more and more of the positive. So I know I'm on the right track. And
Good.
the vibration and the energy on the ground, it's very towards you do get that. Sometimes you get that. Now they call me. The last time I used to be the I used to have a lot of negative names. Like now out of 10 people who are talking behind me, 10 of them will be talking negative about me. But these days,
That,
when I hear 10, maybe I only hear one negative, maybe sometimes one or
uh,
two. But majority will give me very good nicknames. Well, you hear already, you feel very shocked. Like example, they'll say that, Kevin, you're really the only one that can turn this around. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, things like that. Then not only that, then after that, they will call me the project sun. The sun
Mm,
is back.
yeah,
The
yeah.
back. Then I think the favorite one I had was Trailblazer.
Mm,
Wow. That one is really the
yeah.
the ultimate one. It's like trailblazing through the storm and then breaking through and finding new horizons or something like that. They
Yeah.
wrote for me.
Wow.
Now that one is super. Wow, that one is super. Then not only that, they post it on my Facebook.
Okay.
They publicly announce to the world that this guy is my new idol. Like my
Wow.
偶像. Yeah. But again, because of all these actions, I also get haters. People
Yes.
will think, wow, you think who you are, who is he? He's so good, man, better than me, man. So these days when I talk to leaders, especially
Yes.
people who are as senior as me, I have to be so careful. I have to have disclaimer at the start.
Mm,
Especially if I'm right now their boss, so I am guiding
yes.
them, I'm leading them. So I had to be so careful with them. I had to have it's like I never had to do that when I was an agent.
Yeah.
I'll just go straight and say, but now if I'm talking to my fellow leaders, who are not from my team, I have to put in disclaimer first. Then I have to recite my disclaimer fast so that at least I get my points over before my words get out of context.
Okay.
It is that it's
Yes.
something that I learned. It's also something that I learned over the last 6 weeks. If
Wow.
I don't do
Okay.
that, it's so detrimental to the progress.
Yeah, you can't always speak your mind, I think, fully because yeah, like what you say, a lot of people can take things out of context
Yeah, man. Yeah.
once you job, because right now you are heading the company right now, which is a corporate. So a corporate role is very different from a businessman role.
Totally, man. Totally, man. So it's
Yeah.
like I didn't know what I signed up for. Yeah, until I'm now my two legs are inside the inside already. Then I realized that, oh no, I think I need to it's something that's you know
Yeah, and you may have to face the public, when
soon,
if
soon,
there's
soon, very
interview
soon, very
and
soon.
things like that,
Yeah.
when the
I've
public.
been delaying the because I was telling them that, hey, give me some breather. Let me work on what is more demanding now. What are some of
Mm,
the demanding issues that I need to settle? So
mm,
soon my portfolio. Right now my portfolio basically I'm doing the projects in Huttons, which is our main bread and butter lah.
yes.
So eventually I'll be going into all areas, even going out for to work with the vendors, the developers, then and uh even there's so much things to do on the
Yeah,
top.
yes, I
So
know.
I'll need my but bit by bit I'm slowing them down
Yes.
because they keep they
Yeah,
say, hey, no, okay, the next one I'm gonna go and talk to consumers really, gonna go into the public. You say, hey, I'm only 6 weeks old, no.
yeah,
Yeah. So give me some runway. Can let me at least taxi the plane properly and then have
Yeah.
a proper runway before I take off. But now
I
I'm
think
really
being a
now I'm
CEO,
really
because there's
yeah.
so much you have in mind. I think it's always good. Like every morning, you spend time with yourself. For early morning, spend time with yourself. I think that helps to clear your mind.
Yeah.
I think what you really, what more CEOs, what I learned is that clarity is very important, because so much things to on the plate. You really need clarity to cut through the noise, and to to clarity. I think that is the key.
Good. I learned something today. Clarity. Yes.
Yeah,
To
really, like
establish a clear chain and
yes, like
command control.
yes. There's so many things coming to you at the same time, and so many signals coming at the same time. You need to really see clearly, right, on the direction that you're supposed to go. When everyone is pulling you a different direction, or you're getting noise from all direction, and you have to be very clear.
Yes.
And I think spending time alone, to reflect, I think that is what I heard a lot of CEOs, to prevent mental breakdown because of all this.
So the best part is I used to sleep very late. At
Mm,
maybe I can't sleep until like 2 a.m.
yeah,
Then previously lah, then I'll wake up at like 10, 11 a.m. in the
yeah,
morning. That was during my agency life.
yeah,
Now as the management, I sleep at barely I can tong barely before 11 plus. I have to go and sleep already because my brain is so too burnt up.
yes,
Then I'll wake up at sometimes I'll wake up at 4 a.m. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I start my day
yeah,
very early. Yeah.
well,
So, so
yeah.
that's why when I see you as an early bird, I was like, hey, okay. So one thing clearly also shows if you are a thinking that means someone who is always strategizing, right? You'll realize that your brain is working so hard in the day. You need to rest early and then you wake up very early also because
Yeah,
I don't know whether it's a sign of aging. So I always joke, I think this is a sign of aging. I don't need to sleep so much now. Maybe 5 hours is enough. And then I can get up and start doing my things. And
yeah.
the whole day waits for you, the entire
Yeah,
day.
even my brother, who when he runs, because he runs Benjamin Barker, he also wakes up early, like 5 a.m. He needs thinking time. Yeah, I realize, talking to many CEOs, because it's a really stressful environment. I think thinking time is very important. Setting aside time alone to reflect and think. I think that is very important, because clarity is the most important thing that that I think most people hate a huge organization. Imagine you're hitting 5,000, right? Imagine other people in others, Microsoft hitting, if you're hitting millions of people, think about it.
Yes.
Where do you focus your energy on then, So
I'm writing that down
yeah,
before I forget. Yeah. I totally
yeah,
agree. Yeah.
that
Totally.
is the most crucial work as a strategist, actually. I think, as
Yeah.
when you hit an organization, it's really setting aside for thinking time.
Yeah. Yes. Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. Now, of
Yeah.
course, we've gone too high level. So let's go right down
Go
to
back.
the to the agent, while you still can, while you're still very close to the ground. And yeah, last part is I want to ask you is about the champion mindset lah.
Yeah.
Then after that we'll talk about we have champion mindset. Then after that we'll talk about what's the general outlook lah.
Mm.
In terms of a career in real estate, right, versus something else, and talking about the industry. So we'll just talk about mindset first.
Mm.
So roller coaster is a real estate is a roller coaster ride, right? Just like any business, actually, right? How does one develop resilience and confidence, uh, to navigate the ups and downs of the market?
Okay. So wait, let me drink water first.
Yeah. Is there is
Okay.
there any daily habits or routine that contribute to like a winning mindset?
Yes. So I think one thing is when you set a plan in mind, you got to put it in motion. So and then you don't know whether is this a good plan or a bad plan, but you only
Yeah.
know that this is the best plan that you have derived. So you have to execute it. So once
Mm,
you execute it, you should be able to see results. And one thing that acts as a marker for me, whether is it good or bad, is when the result speaks for itself lah. So
mm,
if I see small results, this gives me motivations on a daily basis.
mm,
Of course, if I don't see results, then that's when I know I got to tweak my plan. So,
mm,
and I tweak very fast, and I tweak them very fast because I need to tweak it in such a way that I'm able to see results fast. And I'm
mm,
able to, so this acts as a marker that points me to the right direction. And they also motivates me. So if I see very big results, I know, okay, I'm on track. So this
mm,
propels me to continue to improve on a daily basis. I'm learning daily, and I'm
mm,
learning from what I call OJT, on job training.
mm,
So when I'm doing it on the job, right? Uh, even right now, whatever I'm doing right now, I have to go all the way down to the ground to feel the
mm,
vibration, to know their problems. Then that's when I come up with solution, and then I execute the solutions. Then I see. Then after that, I tweet again, I see. Then only then I'm able to measure whether you got result, no result, based on the
mm,
feedback they're giving me. Then at the same time, I always ask them, give me feedbacks, because I want to know whether is this a feasible plan, or we need
mm,
to improve this further. Then not only that, uh the downs will be some, so these are some of the ups. So you're on the right track when you see results. So this will make
you're
you,
down.
so you keep doing lah. If it's, this is where I find my cheese. But there will be sometimes when I don't find my cheese. So what do I do is, when I will uh there will be downs where, uh okay, to be honest, I have more ups than downs in my roller
Mm,
coaster. So my downs is when I uh honestly, is when I shut down my, there's this like me time. So
mm,
when I'm too indulgent on my me time,
mm,
I tend to switch off. And
mm,
it's I think it's very hard to turn on when I'm too
mm,
indulged in self enjoyment. You
mm,
make some money, then you want to enjoy, and
mm,
this, right? This is when you want to go back again. That is the time that you find it very difficult to turn
mm,
back. So I know that in order to stop this difficulty, I cannot overindulge in me time. There's this
okay.
tendency, my nature, I don't know, my nature, I get lazy, then I like to do what I like to do. And this is totally off track. Then this is when I'll see my down. That means you don't see good income. Then when
Mm,
you want to go back again to do the right thing, then that's when you face a lot of challenges and difficulties. You need even more, because you're not, it's like a car. If you are
not,
today, you are cruising from gear 2 to gear 3 to gear 4 is easier. But from gear
yes,
1 to jump to gear 4, or from start to jump to gear 4, it's so difficult.
yes.
So you need even more energy to do that. So in order to reduce all these downs, I came up with my own methods. Is there must be, instead of, last time I used to come up with different formulas, myself, work 6 months, then rest 1 month,
Yes.
or work 5 months, rest 1 month.
Yeah.
Nowadays, what I do is I will work for 1 week. I'll rest maybe half a day. So this
Mm,
this keeps me going better, rather than
okay.
I keep having long holidays. And that's when
Mm,
I then, even so, until to a stage now, it's like I don't dare to go for long holidays, because the minute I go for long holidays, or if I have to go for long, especially Europe trips, then I will have to bring my work along, so that I'm still working at the same time as I'm traveling. That means
mm,
it's really not just, no more self-indulgent, unless I'm fully retired lah. Yeah,
yeah.
but I had
Okay.
my fair. I mean, to be fair, I did see some small success at a very young
Yes.
age. So I make some good money. So
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy a good part of my life.
Mm,
So so I don't regret so much lah. Because when you're older, when you want to enjoy, it's you don't really have that energy anymore to want to do what you want to do.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
had my funds during my younger days. So
Mm,
now I'm also happy. It's about balancing, like how I balance and how I manage to get all this to move in conjunction. That will be how I see the roller coaster and how I manage. So manage your time, balance your time, and celebrate every small success every day.
Mm,
Even appreciate the smallest things in life. Even
mm,
sometimes when people just buy you a cup of coffee, some kindness, some acts.
mm.
These are small, small things that I will tell myself, wow, these people are so sweet. And then and when I say, like when I say you make my day, I really meant that they make my day. They make my day so happy.
Wow.
Then when they send those, when they send those very powerful messages, wow, I tell you even more. I say, wow, this means the world to me when you send the message. It really meant the same. That means it's
Wow.
just lip service, but really like wow, so shocked, like wow, this not just my day. I think the entire week, you really make my day. And because of that small things, these are things that ignites the fuel in me.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm.
Of course,
Wow.
then
Okay.
all those negative one, right? Sometimes I also thank them because some of these negativities that when I receive,
Yes.
it continues to burn even stronger. That
Mm,
I want to do my best uh to see the
mm.
success faster so that
Yeah.
I can eliminate all these nonsense and noises on the ground. So there's a
Mm,
very strong, compelling reason. There's a pull and there's a push. So the pull and push really continue to propel me in the right direction.
mm. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, so okay, I think the last part is I just want to look at your general advice lah. I mean, for people who are considering career in the real estate, right? What advice will you give to someone like who are stuck in a dead end job? They're always dreaming like, I wish I could be like you, like, but you're unsure. They're unsure, right? How to take the leap that you did. What will you say to them?
I think first thing first
But
is
if a friend asks, come to you for advice, maybe you have friends along the years may have like see you do well, and then they're like, I want, but I'm not sure how to take the leap because maybe they have maybe lack of faith or maybe I don't know.
okay. So usually the first thing I do is I always tell them, usually we do this more lightheartedly because I
Mm,
don't want to. I realized one thing because in my initial start of my career, I people could see that I was doing well very quickly because every year I was like literally changing cars. And
mm,
then from a Japanese car, I within a year or two, I was doing Conti car.
mm,
And then within another few more years, I was really doing supercars. I had
yeah,
a Ferrari.
yes,
So everyone knows that. So this was also a sign that I was doing well, and
mm,
people start to want to join me.
yes,
Now, the thing is, usually what I'll do to them is I'll always tell them this that of course the mindset, and then number two, who determines whether you will be successful or not? It is not going to be me. It's not going to be another company or another
mm,
sincere or mentor.
yes,
You are the one. That means they have to decide that they want to be successful. Then of
mm,
course, right now they have their own. Most of them will have their own commitments, their own uh things that they need to do to keep themselves alive, their daily job lah.
mm,
So for them to want to move out from their existing comfort zone into a new zone, unexplored zone,
mm,
it's not going to be easy. So that's the first thing I tell them. But you decide whether you want to be successful or not. Because if you decide that you want to do this, you're going to face a lot of challenges ahead. But a good mentor will be able to smoothen and lessen the difficulties because
mm,
but of course you must choose to listen and choose to do what I ask you to do because end day uh the 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 commitment itself for this job itself, especially for a start, like what you shared with me yesterday, the 1,000 days. I think the
mm,
first 1,000 days is really very demanding for them.
mm,
So I say, especially those, if let's say they have families and stuff, right? They need their spouse, they need their family to understand for the next 1,000 days, right? They're going to devote and they're going to make this thing work.
mm,
So the thing is, usually what I do is I will tell them that uh, I don't do personal mentoring
mm,
because I have so much on my plate.
Yes.
I choose my agents very, you know, as much as you are choosing whether you want to join me or in my career, I'm also choosing you. So I'll
Mm.
tell this to them. I say, but in the event, if let's say I want you, I choose you and you choose me, then I think we can make this work. But
Mm.
again, I will require your full commitment for at least a period of time. So the period of time is at least 6 months. 6 months
Mm.
from me. That means me and him is what 6 months. But for himself or for herself is at least the first 1,000 days that they
Mm.
must commit to themselves for first 1,000 days. But
Mm.
under my mentorship, at least 6 months. Then
Mm.
they should be able to see results very fast, very quickly. So sometimes I also tell them you can also come in like you can step in what maybe 1 foot or more. That means you don't have to
Mm.
jump in 2 foot first, 1 foot or more. Let me help you see your first income.
Mm.
You realize that what you're going to do here is way more than what you're receiving.
Mm.
Ironically, yeah, I tell you, I was talking to this agent of mine. I don't want to code name lah. So this
Yeah.
agent was telling me that, hey Kevin, I didn't know that you are coming back to do this head of sales, 1 month ago. So she actually she's a very new agent. So when she joined me, she didn't join me as in join me. She joined another manager in my team
Mm.
lah.
Mm.
So she didn't know that I was going to do this head of sales and I'm going in full force to do on the company level. So she said, uh, she actually took on a day job. She took on a day job,
Mm.
so that she can at least because the old boss was asking her to go back and do all
Mm.
this. So I shared with her my analysis. I told her, I said, ultimately, you already since you already give your word, I think you should also honor what you said. Go back and do
Mm.
together lah. But you
Mm.
also must understand that this job, this current real estate job, requires 100% commitment if you want to see results fast.
Mm.
Now, how are you going to juggle is going to take a toll on you,
Mm.
definitely, because
Mm.
you have to juggle between your day job and also real estate and then meeting clients and doing all the marketing activities. It's going to take a toll. Uh, if you think you can, then you have to now is you don't have a choice. You got to do both lah. But in time to come, what is you have to make a decision. Meaning, when will you want to focus? I say because to me, uh, multitasking don't really works for me. Meaning
Mm.
I cannot manage two things at the same time,
Yeah.
job and property. So I say
Yeah.
you have to choose one. Either you choose a day job or you choose real estate. So which
Mm.
one to decide? Really look at what is giving you the returns. So I said, if real estate itself, now if I can help you collect do one closing, and you can see that this closing itself within less than a month, it's 3 times or 4 times more than what you're getting as a day pay. Then of course, after getting the first deal in real estate, the second deal, do you see the second deal coming? And do you see how you're going to get the second deal? So
Mm.
if I can help you see and help you get it, then I think within the next 2, 3 months, you must make a clear decision because the day job will never pay you as well as what the real estate pays you.
Yes.
So, I told her, no, just a few days ago, I think 3 days ago only. Then the next thing, yesterday she texted me before I met you for coffee. She texted me, dear Kevin, thank you for your advice, over the phone chat. Thank you for your time. I already resigned and I already resigned from my day job. And thank you for sharing with me the methods. And I collected 2 checks yesterday or something like that, something along
Yeah.
that line. I was like, wow, it's like sometimes I tell them 3 months, 2 days they resign already. So if you ask me sometimes, you see the way the thing is, I always think that everyone that I talk to, they have they have a brain to function and they
Mm.
will logicize what is right and what is wrong.
Right.
So if I can make sense to them on the phone, and even in theory, it is whether how they see and how they believe and how bad
Mm.
they work. But I can tell you also there are people, actually most of them, not just her, every now and then I get people coming to me full-time job, my friends or strangers who will come to me
Mm.
from the public, they'll come to me. I'll give them some advice. But ultimately, whether they will be successful or not, they really don't need a lot of skills. They really just need to uh, follow a right mentor. The problem is sometimes these days there are a lot of, I call them the fake gurus. Fake gurus,
Mm.
right? They continue to like they got too many teachers. it's like, for example, this guy who wants to be religious, then he started to have going to the temple, going to
mm,
church, going
mm,
to all kinds of
mm,
belief. So which
mm,
one eventually will lead you to your final destination? You got so
mm,
many rules, you got so many beliefs. Then end day it's like you get yourself lost.
mm,
So,
mm,
so I always tell them, I said, hey, I don't I in fact I salute them. I say, wow, you got so much time to go for so many different trainings.
mm,
So what you should do is you should really decide for yourself which one works and which one doesn't. And then
mm,
which one gives you the confidence that and what do you see yourself after learning from this guy? Do you see yourself closing the next 3 months? If you don't, this is a fake guru. I just tell them straight.
mm.
3 months, in 3 months' time, you don't, that means you after attending the course, you
Yes.
have to forecast and see whether can I close something in the next 3 months. If this
Mm,
cannot show you,
mm,
this is a fake guru.
yes.
Yeah, and if this person can show you, and I think I have this gift because many a times when I'm doing trainings, my students will continue to grow by the like from zero, right? 1 month ago, I started this. 6 weeks ago, I started this head of sales. I
Mm,
only started doing my trainings 3 weeks ago. Within
mm,
3 weeks, from zero, now I managed to garner about 500 or more ground support
mm,
from the people. And these people are all working agents, real estate agents, and
mm,
they decided that they want to follow what I'm saying. Because
mm,
the thing is, I was able to show them, I can show them money within the next 3 months. And
wow.
it's very clear, it's actually very powerful because and these people, and the thing is, the most encouraging thing is when you see your attendants are uh oozing out of the training area. And then people
Mm,
who are outside cannot come in, right? The door will be open. And then first time, usually when I do trainings, my doors are closed, man, because I'm very loud.
yeah.
When the door was open, I was a bit uncomfortable. But when I saw the people outside using their phones, trying to take a picture of what I was sharing and stuff, wow, it really warms my heart. Like, like,
I guess what you just shared with me was you actually we were talking about clarity earlier. I think I what you just gave that lady was clarity
yes,
because once you help them get clear, right, they immediately just like they know what to do already,
yes,
right? And yeah, we all need a little bit of that clarity. Sometimes even for me personally, on a private note, even for me, I also need someone to help me get clarity. Then I realized that even
next time you call me without Zoom, we can have coffee chats, bro. Yeah.
yeah, even my brother also needs a coach to help me
Yeah,
get
but
clarity.
I think everyone needs, sometimes there are things that you cannot tell to, especially like company traits and secrets. You cannot, you just can't say it out to another person.
Yeah,
Then you also, at the same time, you want to talk to someone that someone who can keep the secret and give you sound advice. Someone who
right.
would take your things out of context and tell them, oh, Kevin say this, Kevin say that. Then the and always so it's important that we do have these friends that really gives you I call it the human advice sometimes,
Mm,
because there are so many, sometimes there are really so many 鬼 so many evil that especially in my trade, there's so many
mm.
of them. You don't know whether they are real 人还是鬼. So the thing is you have to be so
It's
careful with them.
every
And
industry is like that.
yeah, man,
Insurance is like that. Even in network marketing is also like that.
walao eh.
Dealing
So
with people, that's the problem.
so a
People.
lot. But actually, if you ask me, sometimes I see network marketing, NLM, MLM, I see lesser 鬼. I do see
You're not
them.
inside, you don't know. You
Okay,
don't
okay.
know.
No, but I see them really, some of them are really very that means they come with the intention to, I see them more kind-heartedly than and even insurance also, because they are insurance maybe worse because they are very close team, so they'll have internal politics, like small teams ganging up and then winning votes and stuff. But MLM wise, I don't see that much. But the real estate, I tell you, is horrible. I tell you, it's really horrible. The amount of
You've been in it
ganging up.
21 years.
Yeah,
It's like people saying, you don't know my wife. But you don't the thing is, it's like saying people saying you don't know my wife. But
yeah.
the thing is, of course I don't know your wife. You see her every single day for don't know how many years. What are the chance of you like having a brush and
right.
cause something. Okay, what are the chance? The chance is very, very high because you are inside,
Yeah.
right?
Well, but I tell you, my trade itself, sometimes you're right, you're right. Sometimes you when I want to talk to somebody, wow, like I just want to, whine and all the nonsense, like all this, it's you sometimes you don't have someone to talk to one. That's why they always say the path for the leader is always very lonely. Now
Yeah,
I
yeah.
now I feel it. Then I tell you another thing is
That's
also
why
at the
my
same
brother
time.
went to join EO.
No, also at the same time, I tell you, also after I whine, sometimes I will after even after I whine, I feel that it's not that good also because all the negative energy comes out. And then it does sometimes you will have that lingering effect in you. That means the negativity because you were whining a lot of
Mm,
matters of the heart you come out already. So I also think it's not that good also.
mm,
So it's I rather talk to myself. Sometimes there is at least I will tell myself, okay, Kevin Gale, this is the right message you need to have. Wake up, So it's like I'll go to myself for consultation or like it's like Kevin Gale patient going to find Kevin Gale doctor.
Have
Then
you
Kevin
tried talking to God?
I do. I also do that. I also do that. But talking to myself sometimes it does help because I will. That means let's say now, once you position yourself in a different position. Let's say today, if I'm the guru, I'm the mentor, then the student come to me with a problem. I'm always able to fix, no.
Mm,
But when my own problems, right, I can't fix. So the only way to do that is play role play, lor. That means I'm
yeah,
the patient. I say, hey, Kevin Gao, teacher, can you tell me how to do this? Then the teacher, then I'll wear the hat of the teacher. Then the teacher will say, okay, let's do this. Then after I write
okay.
down. That means I play both
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, correct.
patient and the
Self-coaching.
self-coaching. Really, I tell you, this is the easiest. And by this way, all the strategies doesn't goes out. Yeah.
Mm, okay. Okay, so what do you see real estate industry heading the next 5 to 10 years? And how do you think agent can prepare for those changes? What do you see? What are the biggest thing that you see in the next 5 years is going to have an impact on in the real estate industry?
Okay, first thing first is let's talk about the prices lah. 10 years ago, the norm then was 1,000 each per square feet
Mm,
for condominiums. So condominiums usually they are the first marker for any indication of pricing. So we always measure for me per se lah,
mm,
okay, the best part about real estate is there is no SOP.
mm,
Is be on your own and then you dictate how you want to play the game. So for me, new launches usually they are the market leaders. They are the one breaking the new high, setting new benchmark.
mm,
So 10 years ago, 1,000 plus, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, was then the high.
mm,
10 years later, this is cheap. Now, if you can get even 1,000 plus, if you can get 1,000, like, wow, where you find one? It's so cheap, yeah. Then, but 10 years now, today, fast forward to today, the new norm is 2,000, 1,
mm,
2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. This is the new norm. In the next 5 to 10 years, this will be the norm, when we'll be setting at 3,000
yes.
benchmark. Okay, the reason why this is so it's the cost of living, it's the inflation.
Mm,
Of course, if I were to say this 10 years ago that 1,000 plus is the new norm, people would think that I'm crazy because
mm,
they don't foresee like how can our pay is not increasing, blah blah blah. But it's actually not true. Our pay is increasing,
mm.
but not as high and fast as like real estate.
Yeah, correct.
Correct. But the affordability is the biggest issue lah. So
Yes.
now the thing is we all must agree the cost of everything is increasing, not just
Yes.
property per se.
Yes. Yeah.
Your normal necessity, everything is increasing. Even your
Yes.
coffee, the cheapest things that we do every morning, the simple 面包 and the coffee. Last time coffee used to cost 50 cents, 60 cents. These days it's reaching new benchmark of close to $2 already. And we are
Yes.
talking about normal, cheap coffee shop with no aircon, just ceiling fan.
Okay.
And then you're just sitting there with one, the setup is like there is no plating one. Is basically plum plum like
Yes.
then okay then quite cheap plus got milk, no milk also got 10 cent or 20 cent extra. So we are
Okay.
talking about easily close to $2. Then you get back a few 10 cent, 20 cent change.
Yes.
And if you go to a better, those more even hawker, The coffee can cost $2.50, $3 already. We don't even,
Wow.
yeah, $2.50. I mean, but the coffee is nice because they use
Yeah,
maybe different beans.
yeah,
And I mean, if you then let's just talk about coffee itself. Then you go
yeah,
to Akashimaya, you go and take the
yeah,
what Blanca coffee.
yeah.
Wow, $300 also come. You know, I drank my most expensive coffee, $60. I think 100 over dollars for one small flask of coffee.
What?
The what?
Drip
What
coffee,
brand?
just drip coffee
No, no,
only.
the Blanca, I can't remember the name lah. The
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah, I know, I know. Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
the tea and so you see the cost of living has went up already. And there are people queuing, You say
Yes,
$100 coffee, people are queuing also. To even get a seat to sit there and then to smell the fragrance and drink the coffee, but it actually tastes the same as the one in the coffee shop. It's except the fragrance is different. The caffeine is the same, but it's just they'll tell you, oh, you have some taste of chocolate after that, this and that. So you see, even these people who are selling these coffees, they are doing sales. They're also telling you stories where
yes,
this bean came from and stuff, and then the originate where. But the end is like you're still drinking just coffee. It's just one sip, then $100 gone. But I just want to try lah.
yeah.
Then
You're
after that, I
paying
was
for the
like, why?
experience.
Yeah, what is the craze about? Why people are queuing up and people are just crazily buying this off the shelf, and give it as
Yes,
presents for their relative all around the world.
yeah,
Now, coffee is just one. Then we have got other stuff like your food, your clothes, your branded, your then not only that, everything is increasing. Even cars these days is crazily expensive, but people are still buying.
mm,
I remember 10 years ago, I was saying, I think the cars are not expensive enough because there's so many cars on the road. But these days, cars are so expensive. A similar car, if you bought it 5 years ago and now it's double in price. A BMW X5, you can get it for 200 over thousand. These days, you need to pay 400 over thousand for a BMW, no. The same car that I'm driving now. That is so crazily expensive. And it has shoot through the roof, setting new benchmark, not just in Singapore, I think in the world also.
mm,
But people are still buying because the Singaporeans, there's studies on us. Every 10 Singaporeans, 4 are millionaires or 5 are millionaires. I think, and this amount of people are continuing on the rise. HDB are breaking. Last time we hear HDB break through 1 million. It's like, wow, big news. Do you
yeah,
know this year alone, on the second quarter of 2024, we have, I think, close to 300 transactions done HDB at more than 1
yes,
million. Yeah, crazy. It's already going beyond that reach already. So if and you don't expect the basic let's not talk about property we talk about coffee you will
mm,
not be able to get your 50 cents coffee anymore. That's a
mm,
fact. Not
mm,
even at $1, not even at 150. It will never go back on. No matter the market good or no good, it will still be at
mm,
150. Even market collapse, the cost is still there. No
mm,
sellers will sell you their cost, below cost and sell to you. They might as well don't sell.
yeah,
So that is the truth be told. And then moving forward in 10 years time, the crystal ball itself, 2005 will be a new norm in
mm,
10 years down the road. And then if you can see the trend right now, which I'm seeing in the forefront,
mm,
the skirt of Singapore. Skirt means we're talking about Jurong
yes,
West, Yuan Ching. You're talking about Woodlands. You're talking about Pasir Ris, the extreme east. They are
yes.
already hitting new highs of 2004, 2005, even
What?
yes, even Jaden is going at about 2000. Jaden, the one next to J Gateway, that one is going at 2007, 2008 PSF.
Yeah, I know
Bear in
Jiggy
mind,
was 2006 at around that time last time. Yeah,
now it's 2007, 1000 more. And I tell you, they only left with a handful of units only. Not that they didn't
what?
sell, but they sell well. They sell very well. And they are 99. Leasehold, no. Same
How
thing
many
for the
are local buyers? How many?
majority are local buyers because
Majority
of
are local buyers.
okay, why are they going there to buy? It's not that they don't want to buy it's not that because these are more affordable. Who will want to? Everybody want to stay in central, but the thing is they cannot afford. The affordability is pushing them all the way to the corners of Singapore.
Mm,
Lens lah, Pasir Ris lah, and places like that. No, nobody in the right mind want to stay there, but it's bo pian because too expensive. Then the good locations one are going to hit new highs of 3,000, like Lorong Chuan,
mm,
Maple Blue, Continuum, Grand Diamond, those in the D15 one. These are all going to hit. Now they are already hovering at about 2728. The kind
wow.
of. as high as this. Of course, they have still a cheap one, maybe 2.5, 2.4, 2.5, they still have.
So what are the circumstances that you think it would be a bubble and it might burst, and what will be the circumstances that it likelihood will not be a bubble, it will keep going up? And if it keep going up, will it keep going up?
Okay, if you ask me, I think Singapore did very well over the last many years. We not just we perform exceptionally well how we handle a pandemic, COVID. We show to the world that Singapore is a place that is safe. Singapore is a reliable place, and we are always the first to react. We will be the fastest to react, and how we deal with this very professionally, how we
Yeah,
tide through, and how we help Singaporeans. So this really gives Singaporeans a very strong testimonial across to the entire world how we reacted to this, and then how we after COVID, how did we recover instantly, and then how did we function. So
yeah,
this really sets a new gives us many countries are actually learning from us. But
mm,
and so the popularity of Singapore starts to shine as a little red dot across the entire globe. Not
yeah,
only
yeah,
not only that, the popularity increase. A lot of people wants to come to Singapore to stay and stay for good. So, but so there's going to be a lot of demand into this very small supply country. Then,
mm,
of course, the people will be like, "Wow, so we are expensive enough. Stop coming in to make our place more expensive." So we along the way, right? The government also put in a lot of measures to contain and slow down the. That means they want our growth not to be in a bubble state, but they want our growth to be fundamentally sound. That means the progress is like they contain it to 2-3%, 1-2%, 2-3%, 2-3%. But I tell you, in 10 years to come, even 3% becomes 30%, you know, and 5% becomes 50%.
yeah. I
And
just yesterday I had a friend who from China. The
yeah,
friend from China was choosing going to KL and Singapore from Shanghai. So after a young couple, so after they saw Singapore, right, or they don't want to buy the $5 million house in KL already. They decide to buy here, and
exactly. Because
and they pay
Singapore,
60% more.
yeah,
So
we
we are
travel the world.
attracting.
We travel the world, then of course, being Singaporeans, then got some money, right? Then we will be thinking like, oh, maybe we want to migrate. Well, Singapore is getting expensive and everything.
Yeah,
After traveling the world, you still realize that Singapore is still the best place, the safest place, and the most connected place where you can get everything, literally everything, no? And the options are so you have so much options to choose from, even in a small place, versus you go to another country that you like very much, maybe Europe, maybe Japan, maybe Tokyo, or maybe Osaka, whatever lah.
yeah,
Even when you're there, you just find something missing. No,
mm,
unlike Singapore, it's like everything is really doorstep, that convenient. No, then even walking more than 500 meters is a chore to Singaporeans. But when you're overseas, you walk kilometers, you also no complain.
mm,
The difference in then also there was so many. There's actually, if today I were to tell you about what Singapore is, we are wow, there are so many good things to say. Even the little blue, the longevity.
yeah.
Singaporeans is under the
Blue zone.
longevity blue zone.
Yeah.
We are called version 2. Version
Mm,
2 among
yes.
all these Western countries where they want to learn from Singapore. How come Singaporeans are one of the longest live, more than 100 years old one? Our this 100 years old, we have the one of the biggest amount of density of this
Mm,
more than 100 years. They call it centurions,
yeah.
that is still alive and still
Yes.
actively living their life healthily. So what does Singapore do right? What is our blueprint? So they are also learning from us how to do all this with us together. So
Mm,
it's I'm just simply just astonished by Singapore lah. So as much as I love other countries' culture, want to travel, but Singapore will always be my home. So
mm,
but the thing is, the true facts be told, in 5 to 10 years to come, the cost of living will continue to reach new high. But the true fact is this: if today you want to be part of a good country, a safe country, and it's like you want all the good stuff, you want the branding, you want the safe, the security, be prepared to pay for the price tag.
mm,
And then the thing is, sadly, like if you want to have a cheaper one, of course, the alternative will be our neighboring countries.
mm,
But be prepared for no security, every day living your life in fear, waiting to be robbed. and have to have bodyguards, and even bodyguards sometimes also rob you. Security guards also rob you when you're not or when you're not at home. So these are the things that is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. Then
Mm,
as much when it comes to the real estate agency itself, the agency themselves, right? They need to have the mindset. But I won't. But usually my strength is I will never talk about you buy a home in hope that you will make money. You buy a
mm,
home because you know why you need that home. That's the first compelling reason.
mm,
Then I think more importantly is you must like the home that you're staying.
mm,
And truth be told, I don't look at making a lot of money. I just
mm,
want to lose money. This is the most conservative message I
mm,
will give to my consumers also. That when you buy something itself, you will look at the potential. There's a chance of making money, but don't buy because of that potential. You buy because you need that place, and you want to secure a home. And
mm,
then the worst thing to do is to do nothing. You pay a rental, you save the money, but actually the money is working against you. Saving your money is not really saving. You are not
mm,
putting it to good use if you do not invest. And if you, now that you have met me and you talk to me and you are still sitting on your cash, then something is terribly wrong with your planning. You're not
mm,
you're not taking actions, and then the thing is, because I could see what's going to happen, so
mm,
it's actually quite frightening, especially all the people that I meet. I always tell them, please buy a property, please buy one when you can afford, and there's never a right time to buy something. When you need and when you can afford, just buy it. And sometimes it's just because you're not just buying a home, you're buying a part of Singapore. So it's something that and I okay, like just now you mentioned, what will cause the prices to dip or fall? Now,
mm,
I think it's again supply and demand. So unless something really in the world happen that is that drastically, World War III were to happen. But honestly, if World War III happens, the I mean, what we foresee now is in the western side. So even World War III happens, to be honest, maybe Singapore one continue to go higher, or we just stand still only. Because
like COVID,
right, correct, correct. No, the thing is, where the Amors going to go, man? They're going to they will have to move out. What? And who will move out? The rich one will have the means to get out from the country. Then
Yes.
where will they go? In the entire Southeast Asia, I mean, put it across. You want to go China when you cannot speak Mandarin, or you prefer to go to Asian country that's more westernized one. I think if you ask me as an Ang Moh, if I got money, I also want to come to Singapore. And Singapore has proven out of our 5 million population, 1.5 million are foreigners. No?
Mm,
That
mm,
is the amount of Ang Moh that's coming into foreigners that's coming into our country. So unless you ask me, what will really cause us to shake will be, when yeah, yeah, Malaysia start to fight Singapore, or Indonesia
yes.
start to fight Singapore, all these are which I don't foresee. We don't have we Our foreign affairs are managing our
Mm,
counterparts in our neighboring countries
yes.
very well. We manage them well. So I personally don't see this. I don't see this coming lah. And based on a normal, maybe not in my lifetime, not in
Mm,
my lifetime. So if I see things on a constant basis, we should be hitting new high on a 10 years every year. Then of
mm,
course, the then you have to start. That's why these days cost of living, even foreign workers the even the cleaners on cleaning our plates and all this they are not paid $500 anymore. They are not paid 1,000 anymore. They are controlled by with a minimum wages.
mm,
So
mm,
these are all telltales that we are going towards that direction. So the
mm,
message is clear. Singapore is going to be a fantastic place to stay in, but be prepared to pay the ticket.
mm.
The best thing to
Very
do
good.
now is to be prepared lah. You have to prepare
Yes.
right now lah. Yeah. So as of then, other than the 5 to 10 years crystal ball, let's look at now. The now crystal ball will be what are your options? That means with
Mm,
all this going so high, there are still properties that is under the radar. There are still
mm,
properties that is undervalued. So where to look at? Where to look at? That's when I'm inviting you to this Kun Sing House, because Kun Sing House
mm,
is this one is away from the interview. The Kun Sing House itself, since we're on this topic, Kun Sing House itself is a boutique development. That means
mm,
apartments where when all the attentions are all looking at uh, the attention is all looking at this condominiums, big
Mm,
developments, and around the skirt. It brings my attention. I mean, of course, I would love to buy big developments because they have more solid figures supporting
mm,
that they bring a price growth and stuff lah. But I like to see, but based on my strategies I have this 水涨船高. When the water rises everything rises together. Not
mm,
just not just the
mm,
it goes together in tandem
mm,
one. Now
mm,
in right now, the undervalued properties the boutique developments are usually forgotten because they don't have facilities.
mm,
And then they compare them with the big boys. They usually they are in landed enclave. These properties so
yeah,
landed enclave because landed enclave they don't have the accessibility to the MRT station.
yes,
No, not doorstep one because usually you rarely see a MRT next to a landed.
yes,
Reason is because it's very expensive to have a MRT next to a landed. You how many lands you gotta acquire? And landed these days are super expensive.
yeah,
Inter terrace is going as high as 5 million, 6 million.
yeah,
Inter terrace inter
in the
terrace
terms,
correct. And how
yeah,
many inter terrace I need to buy in order to
mm,
do the MRT? So so it doesn't make sense. So usually they will do it along the roads and stuff. Now, and they're usually away. But I ask you one thing. Right now, if today, let's say we talk about even Kun Sing House, the nearby big developments like Grand Diamond, Tembusu Grand, Continuum,
mm,
they are at least 199, and they are going at about 2006, 2007.
mm,
And Kesia, which is also in the east, in Pasir Ris, going now on papers, they put 1850, which I doubt, maybe 1 or 2 units. If I look at Yuanqing, the Sora just launched one, they also, same story, 1850. Today, they are launching at 2004. Okay, 2004 for 3 room, 4 rooms.
mm,
Chances of this Kesia, which is going to launch in 3 days' time, 4 days, 3, 4 days' time, they're going to release the price. I do foresee something similar. They could break 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Even 24 may come. I don't know. Now, if you ask me Kun Sing House, let's say if Kun Sing House, what kind of price they should price? They are freehold in the landed enclave and it's in the house series. That means the house series that this developer is trying to build. Do you know that Kun Sing House you can get it at about 2002 per square feet?
mm,
It's something that nobody is looking at, no. And because they
mm,
look down on it because this is a apartment.
mm,
But you ask me, then they say, then they come with objections. They tell you, why they don't want to buy because eventually it's very hard to exit. You buy a small apartment, you want to sell, very hard to sell. Of course, it's hard to sell when you price if you price this instead of pricing 2002, you price it together with 2005, 2006,
mm,
2007 with the big boys. Obviously, I'll buy the big developments. I won't buy the small one.
mm,
So usually it's in tandem one. If the new launches, they will hit 3,000. Then that's when you go to 2,3, 2,4. You
mm,
cannot be pricing the same as them. Then it won't make sense. Nobody will buy from you. But if
mm,
you provide a more affordable house and yet you still make some money, right? In percentage of in tandem, you will be able to move as effective as them. But of course, you need good agents, people who
mm,
knows the market. Then not only that, the Katong cluster. This is
mm,
Katong cluster. Will you
mm,
same price, same price. Let's say we talk about Kun Sing, same price. You want to buy this location or you want to go and buy that stupid Pasir Ris location?
mm,
I tell
yeah.
you, hands down one, it's a very
Yeah.
clear two.
Katong is like yeah, Katong is where we were meeting, right? The area.
Correct.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
best thing is, bro, the thing is this two location, one is really that you can walk to and you can still walk to the MRT station. And the
Mm,
best part is in this Katong estate itself, there is no supply.
mm,
Meaning there is no people selling one. Even the land, even you got money, you want to buy landed, you be prepared to pay premium and premiums.
mm,
Even the apartments resale, there's nothing for sale one. The
mm,
entire because people who stay here are staying here for good one. They won't. I tell you, even for myself, I bought my land at about 3 million.
mm,
Even I tell you, you come in and offer now my price has appreciated to about 5 mil.
mm,
Even you offer me 6 mil, I won't sell you one
mm.
because I can't find back
Yeah,
this location. Or it's like,
yeah,
bro, I walk over to Mercy Marcel to meet you. So how do I get this type of property again? Even 6 million, I tell you, I go and buy another smaller one nearby. I probably will have to be outside of Katong, and
yeah,
then there is no replacement. And I won't sell you. Even you
yeah,
pay me 3 million extra
yeah,
no, to buy my.
yes.
And now that with the new MRT station that's up, walao, I tell you, the lifestyle is completely different. It is the only part in the world, when I walk the MRT track, you know the I-12, you walk the MRT, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you walk to the MRT station, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You know, after that last night, right? After we went to Marcel, right?
yes.
Last night I went back again with my wife.
Marcel again,
Yeah.
so good, the place. You and you like
No,
the
the waitress remember me. He remember where I was. The waiter remember where I was
ah,
sitting some more.
you came back again with the food is good. You should try the pizza and
Yeah.
some of the food. The Master Marcel is one of the branded franchise, but do you know the best part, because I'm a very usually I got time constraint. So one day when MRT was up, 3 days later, I was like telling my wife, hey, I think because my son wanted to walk back from Kot
Yeah.
Yazoo because my in-law stays there, so he want to walk back. He's 14 years old. Then I say, then he want to walk back in the middle of the like 5 a.m. plus because next day I have this stupid tree walk lah. He has to come back behind. I need to leave the house at 6 a.m.
Yes.
So yeah, he asked me, can I do that? I say cannot. I say at 6 a.m. It's very dangerous. Then he was looking at me, why is it dangerous? Then it's like because I didn't know that there's this MRT. You know
Yeah.
the Marine Parade MRT, once you walk inside there, I literally thought I saw myself in Shibuya, no, in Tokyo, no. It's like I walk out one exit, exit A or B or C, right? I come out, it's a shopping mall.
Yes.
And then I walk out the other side, is I-12. And I-12, the entire stretch is all malls and malls and malls and all the food, no.
Yeah.
So and then when I was and this thought came to me, more frightening was when I was in the Paradise Group having my porridge, no. Not having Japanese food, no. I thought of Shibuya. I really felt that I was in Shibuya, no. Like, wow, this reminiscing thought was so different. No? I never had this feeling in Sengkang, in Tao,
Mm,
in anywhere, no? But in the east itself, no, this Katong cluster,
mm,
the whole effect came to me, and there's this draw that makes me want to, and it's not that crowded because I
yeah.
think the food there honestly is a bit more expensive,
Right.
lah. So the atas feel is there. So it's like, wow, you really feel the taste of the tastefulness of life over there, lor. And
Mm,
why this Parkway Parade can serve the East for the last 40, 50 years. You know,
mm,
this Parkway Parade. So
yeah.
the entire thing was a very comfortable experience for me, lah. And it was still drizzling a bit. I brought
Mm,
umbrella, but throughout my journey, I didn't have to open my umbrella.
mm,
You know, so then the thing is, Hun Sing house is just nearby my house. It's just 500 meters away from me.
mm,
Walao eh. You ask me, when I saw this product itself, like, then I was like, hey, how come nobody's selling? You know, then it's like, hey, something is either wrong with the product or something is wrong with the agents.
mm,
They are not looking at it. That's why in my coming talks, right, I not only I'll be sharing the all this entry
mm,
analysis, I'll also be sharing the beauty aspect, the storytelling, so you can
mm,
see live in action, how I influence people to come into the showroom. They will
mm,
believe that this project can sell. Not only they believe it can sell, they want to sell and they will commit to selling.
mm.
And if I manage to do these three, I've done my part as the head of sales.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
that's
looking forward. Okay,
but you enroll
last.
for the Wednesday first class.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. I registered for the first class.
Okay, okay. First class, usually I'm the haven't oiled the engine yet one. But so give me some chance.
The
Because
warm up.
first
Okay.
class is warm up because it's the so usually what I do is yeah, another discipline, maybe in the video you can also write down. It's when I'm doing videos, right? Some of the things is sorry, when I'm doing classes, I'll practice what I'm going to pitch fast forward one, at least 1, 2 times before I start. So that when
Mm,
I'm really doing it to the class, it's repeated, like singing, you have to sing
mm.
a few times first, before
Warm
you
up. Yeah.
warm up,
Mm,
and to get and you'll be surprised, sometimes and the thing is, the biggest challenge, in showrooms is I don't have slides. I
mm,
don't have, I have to talk based on points.
mm,
And the string of thoughts is all different one. That means what comes to my mind, I will say. Like now, like that. What comes to my mind, I will say. And then so the effect has to be there. So
yeah.
as a leader itself, these are the things, that I have to teach my agents. Like, so what is the objective when you talk to agents when they come to your show flat? You're the leader, you're the IC.
Yeah.
So what must you do? So same thing, they must believe, they believe can sell, want
Yeah.
to sell, and commit to you that they want to sell, that they will be selling. That means the activities will be different
Correct.
when they have this understanding. So this is how I break down all these problems into solution and strategize to execute. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually learned in when you're doing presentation without slides, people only can remember maximum 3 points. So you only have one overriding point, three points, and then the most important is they don't remember all the details. But what you have to let them walk out is they remember how it made them feel.
All right. Yes. Correct. That's the entire thing. So they will always, so usually we call this anchor lah. So I'll design anchors to hook them.
Mm,
So even when buyers, even when agents, when they come inside to the showroom, I treat them as uh seller. I treat them as a bit of agent, but more of the buyer. That means I have to make
mm,
them believe, make them buy. So usually
right.
when my agents attend my trainings, they end up buying also one. All
Okay.
right. Yeah. I get agents to
Wow.
buy themselves. Yeah.
Okay, last one. Okay, BVN,
Okay.
because it's 12 o'clock already. Okay, fine. What legacy do you hope to leave behind in the real estate industry? What do you want, like maybe 50 years down the road, right? Will people still remember Kevin Geow or not?
Yeah, I think first thing first is the name that people will remember lah. Like
Hmm.
this,
What would you like to leave behind?
okay, like for example, I think one of my key mentor will be Peggy Huttons. So if today you look back 10 years ago, like even, sorry, not, okay, 10 years ago, if you were to say this name, Peggy Niam, Huttons is Peggy Niam.
Yes.
Everybody will agree that Peggy Niam is the one hero that means she's like the hero of the entire company
Mm-hmm.
who
Good.
make Hutton so successful. We were the market leader. Then over the last 10 years, we start to lose our shares, we start to lose our market share, and then we are not doing that well compared to the bigger boys because of the market sentiments and also agents and competitors are learning what we are
Mm-hmm.
doing. So I hope as a legacy is people will remember Kevin Gao, uh, like Peggy and that lah. That means the
Mm.
Peggy of Huttons. That means the Kevin Gao of Huttons in in this century itself. That means
Mm.
the next 10 years is Kevin Gao's he is the what do you call that? The idiom or the idol.
Okay. So you think of the brand Hutton, still only think of you.
Right. I mean, I get it all the time. I'll tell them, hi, this is Kevin Gao from Huttons. Oh, I know your boss, Peggy Niam.
Right.
She's the power lady that's holding on to the entire Huttons. And I
Yes.
get that all the time, And then you ask me, sometimes it's like, wow, her name is so overpowering. Then it's the best is I rub shoulders with her. Oh, she is my boss, So
Mm-hmm.
I also want this legacy to be there, a name that stays. Then also at the same time, the framework that I've created,
Yes.
the framework I've created, and then uh the culture itself to stay.
Mm. And the book that's coming up as well.
Great,
Yes.
thanks. So that one
Yes.
was all this will eventually be there when I'm away, when I'm gone already long gone. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Books are always one of the best way.
Mm.
Yeah. At least my grandparents are not around. I only what I remember the stories that's being passed down. If my
Yes.
grandfather had written a book, I would have been gained more insight into
Correct. What he was
his story.
what are his string of thoughts and how they can uh impart their wisdom to us.
Yeah. That's how the
We don't
Bible
have
is
to
2,000
self-teach.
years.
Yeah, so we don't have to self-teach ourselves. Yeah. But the sad truth is there are a lot of people who don't seek wisdom. They
Mm,
only seek shortcuts and especially right now, everybody just want to be a TikToker, KOL.
mm, yeah.
They just want to shortcut their path. And then when you tell them wisdom, they tell you that you're passé, you're old school, you're using what 2000 years ago's knowledge to teach me. You
Mm.
know.
But
And this
human beings have not changed. The Bible did say that there's nothing new under the sun.
mm.
Yeah. All of what human is doing is nothing new. It's
So, but one of the most negative things I hear is Kevin Gale is still teaching what he teach 20 years ago. Walao, you when you hear this one is the most detrimenting things that. Then I'll ask them, hey, how you steam fish now? Is it different way of steaming? You use acid to steam your fish now, or you still use the same water to steam? I'll ask them back. Or you
Mhm.
have a different formula of steaming your fish. I'll ask them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they tell you things that, oh, you already passé already lah. These are things that we already know, and then you're still doing the same thing. You never, it's just
Mm.
the delivery is different. Wow, you listen already, your blood boil, man. So, but never mind. But the thing is, you blood boil, you still cannot show. You still have to smile and then tell them that, yeah. Yeah, I'll do my best to understand the market. Or when people come to you, Kevin, you don't understand the market. Walao, when you hear things like that, maybe you're not familiar with the market. Let me share with you more. Then you hear already, your blood boil again.
Yeah. Another thing I think it's affecting every industry is AI, the usage of AI in a lot of areas.
Right.
I think someone will definitely create a real-time AI app for real estate, like in real time. Every transaction is clocking in real time, and you can see everything in real time. The AI would,
Really happening now. It really happened 10 years ago. But the thing about real estate, the beauty and the charm of it is because sometimes even though you can get information, you can get statistics, you can get all this knowledge via AI and stuff. But one thing that cannot be replaced is the physical going there and
yeah, experiencing
witnessing the
it.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because all
yeah,
things, honestly, in today's era, why people are coming lesser for briefings is because all this information they can get it online.
yeah.
Then they do not need to be physically there. But what you brought up just now was very important, which is the the whole idea of remembering that feeling, remembering
Yes.
and after making a decision because they are not biased. No, these people are agents. So the thing is, if they don't even appear in the briefing itself, it's very how are they going to even decide that they want to do this project? And
Yeah.
then if they
They
don't do
think
this
I have
project,
the facts is enough.
that's why they have to be there. Yeah,
Yeah. To experience it.
correct.
Yeah.
So, but this is the same difficulties that I face.
Okay,
Totally.
good.
Yeah.
I think we have quite a bit of good information already. I think enough for the book. If there's anything to add, I'll just send you so you can briefly look through once I do it. In the next few days, I'll do a bit of the editing.
You're gonna do the
I'll check
copywriting
out the
yourself.
transcript. Sorry?
You're gonna do the copywriting yourself.
The copywriting is I already wrote. The copywriting is more for selling the book, right? Which I already wrote for you.
Yes.
This is not copyright. This is more like the actual content of the book. Yeah,
Okay.
we want people to read a book and feel you.
Yes.
We want them to feel, uh, and not just feel, but also there were tactics that you mentioned inside as well. A lot of mindset, I think, change that's very important as well. I think that's the most important part.
Right. I
Yeah.
think the objective of the book, other than what we have mentioned, I was hoping that the fact that they will perceive me as somebody who is also a trailblazer, someone who dares to break through the wind, then someone
Yeah.
who is sincere and somebody who has a character to willing to share and also
It's good,
willing.
and you should pass this book even to developers.
Yes.
And
Yeah, why not? You'll be in soft copy, is it?
it will be okay. So I'll be putting on Amazon. So we do it in this way. So we don't need to print the book. If you want to print a book in the bookshop in Singapore, then of course we need to get a publisher. That means we have to spend some money for that, lah.
That's right.
But if it's just on Amazon itself, it's practically we don't have to spend any money.
Okay.
Right now, Amazon is doing print on demand. So
Mm.
in other words, the moment they order online, they'll
Mm.
print the physical copy and send to your house.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Can.
it's print on demand. So you don't even need to commit any. There's no money
Okay.
involved.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
the physical book will be nice because if you want to give it to the developer, then
Yeah,
they'll be,
yeah.
you can
Yeah,
have one
I
and
mean,
you.
can order a few copies online, like you don't need to. You don't want to
No, but
stock up. A lot of
it
people buy
sounds
books and
so,
so.
but it also sounds very funny. Like, yeah, developer, I wrote a book and I wanted to share this with you. You know,
Yeah,
so you'll be like, well, 你自恋, like them 自恋. So
yeah.
how do you really market the book? Like, want to
So
give.
okay, so how do you become Amazon bestseller? I'll tell you a trick, lah. To
Mm.
become an Amazon bestseller, right, international bestseller, right, you need to understand. Amazon updates